Hey, everybody. Listen, happy Friday. Glad to see y'all all in the building. Nice to see you. I figure I'll do a quick trending topics today on Friday, right? We'll be in and out, just have a little Friday night fun. I'm glad to see you here. I hope y'all having a good day so far. So I selected the topic child support. I'm going to transition it into a little bit of relationships. I did throw the link out there in case somebody wants to come up and chat with me. But the reason why I picked this topic, child support, is because it seems that that particular subject has gotten a bad name, right? A lot of people get a little tense about it. A lot of people have negative feelings towards child support. And I'm just, as I was digging up some information and getting the history on this, listen, child support has been around in the United States since the 1950s, right? But it really became law, I believe, since 1975. And there are so many people in this world that get angry, kind of take it out on the children. Sometimes the mother of the child, because they don't want to pay child support, they take it out on the children, they take it out on the mother of a child, and some people have resorted to drastic measures just in order not to pay child support. Okay, so do you remember that story? I want to say, I forgot exactly what year it was, but he was an NFL player. His name was Ray Caruth, I want to say. And he had a girl that he actually got pregnant. He did not want her to have the baby, asked her not to have this baby, several times. And, she decided that she was going to keep the baby. And he actually was convicted and served some time in jail for taking her. Well, I'm going to say for orchestrating someone else to take her life. Oh my God, who said, Kate, you said child support, don't get me started. A lot of people, have a lot of different stories about child support. It's a really, big situation. And I just remember, I said to myself, here it is, this man, you was with this woman, you got her pregnant, and all because you don't want to pay some money, you rather take a life so that you won't have to pay money and then serve time in jail. Like, I don't understand how that made any type of sense in his mind. They became heated because they don't think the money is used for the children. You are absolutely right. That's a lot of discussion around that, how the money is not used for the child. And I'm going to get into that. I would say when I had a child that I would be glad to drop the child off and pay child support. LOL. Listen, yeah. You said my husband became disabled after he left. Listen, you know what? Let me tell you something. It's just a lot of people it's such a tense subject, right? Some men, they get so upset. It's like, why did you take me to court to get me to pay? I would have paid without you taking me to court. But who wants that headache of every single second calling somebody and saying, listen, the kid needs shoes. Can you give me $30? I need to pay for this. Can you give me $20? And then what happens when they say, like, listen, I just don't have it? What do you do at that particular point? Tabitha, to the point where he paid someone to kill her. Wow. Yes, he did. So he did, but he kind of claims as if he didn't, but he did serve time for it. And then, she was pregnant at the time. And so lucky, I mean, I don't want to say lucky. The baby, it was a boy. He did survive. The boy survived, but he was severely disabled as a result of what happened to him. The trauma that he went through, and so she lived like a month after she got shot, and then delivered the baby. And then, like I said, the boy is, I want to say he's about 18 now or something like that. I know the grandmother, her mother raised him. And then in addition to that, he actually, I think he got sentenced anywhere between 18 and 24 years for his part in taking her life, and he served 19 years. So yeah, hey Sonia, yeah, senseless. It was senseless. And all over, instead of you just paying, I don't know how much he would have had to pay her at the time, because he did have a child already with someone else. So I don't know how much he would have had to pay her, but with serving time in prison worth just not paying child support? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's just, it's one of those topics where I say to myself, somebody has to just try to help me make sense of this. I really need a man to give us an understanding of what is the big deal. Two people made this child. Two people are responsible for this child. And if you no longer want to be with the woman that you had this child with, then at the very least, you should be held responsible for everything that it's going to cost to raise this child. So who said, Kate said, I'm an RN and was married to a gainfully employed man who suddenly became disabled. I can't. Oh, so who said, Kate? Are you saying that he became disabled just so he wouldn't have to pay child support? That is crazy. That is insane if that's what you're saying to me. But there's so many tricks that people do just so they can get out of it. Now, let me tell you, I can't say, how much is too much, right? And this is not just all the time that the man has to pay. There's many cases where the female has to pay. So for instance, I want to say Kelly Clarkson. Now, her husband was a doozy. I mean, he was fighting for everything in the kitchen sink, okay? She is paying him $45,000 a month in child support, along with he gets some other things too. But just in child support alone, I want to say, yes, he's getting $45,000 a month. And even as Kelly Clarkson's kids, you're like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Okay, I didn't think Nick Cannon was paying anything, but the article I pulled up, it said he pays out $1.2 million a year. And this is before he had the other, two kids that are currently on the way. He pays out $1.2 million a year in support. So clearly he could care less because he keeps having children and children. You also, Nadi, you're saying this about control. So you think that they have a big issue over paying this money and it's all just about control? If so, that is absolutely insanely crazy. Crazy. Some of them get so irate about it and so mad. He messed up his career, everything crazy. They don't feel they should give any money to the mother, child, or not. Yeah, okay, so a lot of men feel like they're giving it to the mother, right? But the thing is, I think that is the most craziest thing I ever heard of, right? Your child has to eat. Your child is in the home where the heat, the water, their bed, and everything is being provided. It's insane to me. And it costs a lot to raise a child. Thanks for your session. My husband came after me in court trying to take my gains. I will never trust a man again. Who said, Kate? You know what? It's, I pray that the thing is, right, this is what I love about, what is her name? Jennifer Lopez, but now, she got married. I can't think of her new husband's last name. But the thing I love about Jennifer Lopez is she never gives up on love. And I would say that, yes, sometimes you run into a bad apple who will try to come for you and just dog you out. But, hopefully you can learn to trust again. If a man tells you he doesn't want a child, why don't he stop having relations with you or strap it up? Tabitha, I'm trying to tell you exactly, right? I'm trying to tell you, why not do that? So, oh yes, Affleck. Thank you. So did she? I wonder if she's going to change her last name. She's probably not going to give up that last name of Lopez, right? So, Britney Spears had to give that Kevin Federline $20,000 a month in child support. This child support thing is a big thing. Eddie Murphy, $25,000 a month he pays out in child support. Now Tom Cruise, little series, she's worth a whole lot of money, and I think she's almost about to be 18. But he was paying $400,000 a year. Okay, up until the fact of when she turns 18. So now you saying, look at Kenya and Mark. Well, well, the Mark is a special kind of different. But the thing is, I do understand Kenya in terms of wanting to be a mom, right? I will always understand that and relate to that, and I can respect that. But that is a prime example of no matter how bad you want a child, you still have to watch who you lay down with, because you're going to potentially have to deal with them for the rest of your life. Okay. So it's just, yeah. Yes, safe sex is the best sex. Yes, safe sex is the best sex. And with some people, you just got to stay away from them with a 10-foot pole, right? So Tom Cruise paid out a lot of money. There's so many people that paid out a lot of money, and there's so many men that they will literally stop working for a job that gives them a W-2 and work under the table just so they do not have to pay child support. And that I don't get. People make careers out of child support. Well, yeah, but see, here's the thing. To me, if you are a celebrity, if you're somebody that has a ton of money, you're a fool. If you want to willy-nilly go around sticking your thing and everything walking and not protecting yourself, or depending upon that other person to say that they're on birth control, that's on you, right? So the more you have, the more that you have to be careful, because you know that this is the oldest trick in the book, right? That women are out there that will just get with you because you are who you are, and they want to check. And so to me, the saddest case that is most recent is Tristan Thompson and the baby that he does not want to meet the child. He's paying the child support because he has no choice, right? Because the court ordered him to, but he's not meeting his own son because he's pissed at the mother. And I think that is so sad. So my thing is, how does he think is going to be a blessing to him, right? That you have these other children that you are in their lives because you're okay with those mothers. But you have this one child because you're pissed at the mother. You refuse to meet your son. I just think that is horrific. I really do hope he turns that around, because it's very sad. Nope, I only live for my kids, and they will find out the truth about their dad. I love that man, and yet my kids will see the truth someday. They can ask him. Yeah, they can ask him, but you know what? He probably doesn't see the error of his ways, which is so crazy. But I do understand what you're saying, and I hear where you're coming from, who said Kate. On the flip side, have you heard about the wealthy guys now that are getting fixed so that they don't have kids and have to pay support? Well, you know what? You can respect them for that, right? So if you don't want to have kids, you should prevent it, versus what's that Ray Caruth, who you want to take somebody's life because you don't want to pay child support. So I can appreciate that man that's going to fix himself. So now they don't have to worry. If somebody come up pregnant, they can know for sure, well, either it's a miracle or the baby's not mine. Yep, you got all respect for that, right? They say it's reversible. I think it probably is reversible, but I think you probably, even if they reverse it, I think you probably lessen your chances, of, maybe being able to have a child afterwards. But just like, see, and that's the other thing, right? Birth control is highly on a woman, right? To either take a pill or, get some type of birth control shot. Like, the thing is, a mother will always have to be a mother. A father can choose to be a father, whenever they want to. So what I mean by that is that, the mother is going to be the one that has to carry that baby. The mother is always going to have to take care of that child. A mother can't decide to just walk away because the law will come after her. But why doesn't the law come after these men who just walk away? And then why does these men get to say, well, I'm not even sure, similar to what Tristan Thompson did. He's talking about, I don't think that baby's mine. He knew that baby was his. And he made that girl go get this paternity test only for it to come out in the end that yes, that was his baby. Hi, Diva. Advocate, advocate. What about the moms who use the kids as pawns when they don't pay or not in a position to pay? Well, you know what? You bring up a very good subject, Nadia. I did drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and chat with me. So let's talk about that for a minute, right? There are mothers out there, which I think is totally unfair, that, well, because the child support is not being paid, they hold the kids back. And see, here's the thing about when you actually get child support, a court ordered child support, whether they are paying that thing weekly or not, it will go in arrears. So at the end of the day, you're always going to get what's due to you some way, somehow, even if your child is grown. It could be 20 years later, they're still going to have to pay that bill. So I think it is totally unfair to use the kids as a pawn. The kids should have nothing to do with these adult situations. Whether you give me a nickel, a dollar, or a dime, when you want to come see your kid, pick up your kid, take your kid somewhere, come get your kid. I'm good. We can handle our personal business off to the side. So yes, that's a good point you bring up. Good. Tie yourself up if you don't want to pay. Yes, but I didn't make those babies on my own. Exactly. I will love my blessings forever. I know that's right. Yes, I love it. And you said I was pregnant during the time of Ray's trial. Just sickening for the reason behind that tragedy. It was sickening. It was so sad. It was unbelievable. And he actually tried to pretend like he didn't have anything to do with it, like it was some random thing. So it just so happens that this girl that you were dating and and is pregnant with your child, some random person just came and shot her up. And literally, if you remember the story, she actually called the cops, I think, when she was already shot and said he did it. So that was just a crazy story. Hey, Nadi, what's going on?
Hey, Diva. I don't know why my face is not showing.
I don't know what's up with your camera. Oh, and then you went away. Are you
Uh,
okay? You still there?
oh, wait.
Okay.
Let me see. I don't know why it's not showing. I'll drop
Yeah.
off and come back
That's
in.
okay though, but that's why marriage is so important. Yes, it is very important because it does protect the child. It does protect the
Exactly.
child 100%. True that baby shouldn't be a paycheck. Baby should not be a paycheck. Hey, Black Swan, thank you everybody for stopping by. It's a very important conversation. I don't understand why so many men are just has there's so much tension behind this child support thing. Hey, Sin, you're in the building. What's going on?
Hey Diva, hey Naughty Love, how's
Hey.
everybody?
Hey, Sin.
How you doing? I'm here to talk about child support.
Yes, this is a great
Yes,
subject, Diva. This is a
yes,
great
yes.
subject.
Add to the conversation.
Issue, I promise you. When my husband and I got together, we were 19,
Okay.
and he had been previously in a relationship. He had 3 children. I was in a previous relationship with no children, but I had a bad breakup, and he was heaven sent. He really was. My uncle told me he was gonna hook me up, and he did. I actually met him going to get an outfit for my uncle's funeral.
Okay.
And so we had my son first, and everybody's like, "You got to get married. You got to get married." I said, "We'll get married when we want to get married." And then he proposed, and we got married in 1989. And we wanted to have one more kid, and we ended up having twins. And
Nice.
yeah, but we talked about our childhood, what we wanted out of life, what we expected for our kids, how we grew up, and how we wanted things to be different from them. We wanted to break the generational curses,
Right.
and so we were very intentional. The marriage did not last. By the time the girls were 2.5, we were separating, but I had to make sure I let him know the separation is between you and I. It has
I
nothing to do
know
with the
that's
children.
right.
It has nothing to do with the rest of the family. The family loves you. I love the family. You know, we're all still family. You and I are just not going to be together. But these children, they're yours.
Yes.
Okay. And as far as giving me money, I don't need you to ever put a dime in my pocket. You take care of your kids when you have them. I'll take care of my kids when I have them. When they came to school, he paid for school. He paid for books. He paid for uniforms. Why do I need his money?
Well, you know what,
I
Sin?
take care of my bills. He took care
Uh-huh.
of his bills. I try to be fair. He still has
Right.
to live. I still have to live. As long as he don't need nothing from me when he has them, I'm fine. You know what I mean? Whatever he wants them to have, because people have this bad habit with men. They're lazy. Let me give you $200 so you can get my son a bike. You want your son to have a bike? You take your $200 and go buy the bike. Because if you give me that $200, I might have a bill that's due. Guess what? He ain't getting that bike. I mean, it's a fact. So
See,
if you
you
don't
know
buy
what,
him what,
Sin? Can I throw this in there?
mm-hmm,
You were very fortunate. You were very fortunate that y'all was able to make that agreement and your ex-husband stuck to the agreement. Do you see what I mean? That's not everybody's story. Some of these people, once they leave a relationship behind, I like to call it dead bodies, right? They
uh-huh.
leave dead bodies behind that come back to haunt them, and they leave them behind because they want to act like they had nothing before they get with the next person. They
But
act like they
listen,
have no responsibilities. Yes, go ahead.
here's the thing. I'm a step up for the men. There are a
Okay.
lot of women today, at least when I was giving birth, that want to punish the men. So
Yes.
unless you're giving them something or bringing them something, you
Yep.
can't see your kid.
Yep.
That's not fair.
That's
It's
not
all
right.
about the kid at the end of the day.
I
You know what I'm
agree,
saying?
Sin. And that was
Right?
my perspective, Diva, when I made that comment, because I've been in, like, I've been married twice, um and I was fortunate enough, like, my oldest child, her father was very active in her life, but it was a lot of times when he was trying to build himself up and build his career and stuff like that. He just didn't have it, Diva. But I never ever kept him away from his daughter. It was
Right.
times I would leave my apartment for the weekend so he can have time with his daughter, because I knew how important it was for a daughter to have their father in their lives. And my
And the
mom was
fact
the
that he
same
wanted to
way.
be
Even
there
though
for
her and my
her.
dad weren't married, they got divorced and stuff. Wherever my mom moved, my dad moved around the corner. Like, we always had access to both of our parents. Like, I never
Mm-hmm.
had to deal with my parents like fighting over us or
Mm-hmm.
anything. So I carry that along when I raised my two girls. Now, my youngest child, she came out of a long-term relationship. But even still, even though we weren't together, we set things up. She saw both of us every day. Like, I registered her in school up there. He had the mornings, I had the evenings, and I made sure it was balanced. Like, I feel like there is no reason in the world you should keep a parent from their child unless their safety is at risk. That's the only,
Exactly. Absolutely. Because money's not everything.
Y'all had very good experiences though, and there is a flip side.
Yeah,
And the
but we
flip
have to. A
I
lot
do
of
know
these.
the other side, Diva, too. I do. The current gentleman that I'm dating, he's going through so much, and he's an excellent father. Excellent. Been there from day one. And because he doesn't want to be under the control of the baby mom, and it was a situation where a child came about. They weren't together and this and that, and he was trying to be responsible. And for the first 2 years he was there, but she started to take him for granted. So he had to take his power back. Like, what are we doing? And he moved out, and she immediately started holding the child hostage for no good reason. No good reason.
And the kid suffers. The kid
And the
suffers
kid
behind that.
suffers.
And at the end of the day, people think that, oh, I bought him this, I bought my kid that, I bought him their
And
first
that's how
car.
she is.
And kids don't remember that. Kids remember time spent. At the end of the day, they're gonna remember the time that they
Exactly.
spent with each parent, or the love that they got from each parent.
That's the most important thing we can give our kids,
You
that
know what I mean?
foundation.
that foundation is so important. And I spoke to my kids, even going through the separation, I was not going to hide anything from them. There's personal things that was going on between dad and mom that was not their business, but we made sure that we were always cordial. It wasn't easy on his part because it was my decision to get divorced, but I still worked with him the best I could because I had to be patient. This is the father of my children, and he already had 3 kids previously. So at that point, I had 6 kids because the mother of his children had been murdered.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Okay. And
Wow.
and he was already such a great dad to those 3 kids. I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I can do this. I can do this because I honestly wanted to be a nun. I didn't want to have no children. I didn't want to have no parts of a child. None. I didn't. But this guy he made my pregnancy so easy. I enjoy being pregnant. I offer to be a surrogate because I had really good pregnancy. This man was by my side. And to this day, my daughters are 31 and my son is 35. We're still as close. We're still family. We still talk. We have never had sex since we separated. Never, ever. There's never that comeback. Nope, nope, nope. We're done.
But y'all had enough respect for each other
Of course.
to keep
Now
it
it wasn't
solid for the
easy. It
kids.
wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It took a lot from me. But I had to do what I had to do for my kids because I know what I wanted the outcome to be.
Absolutely. And people forget, once you decide to break apart the relationship, it is no longer about you and that person. It is all about the best interest of the kids. And people forget that all the time. They get lost in their feelings.
That's why I tell my daughters, I say, before you lay down with any man, you have to ask yourself, can this man be the father of my child? Because that's the possibility.
It's a possibility.
And will he be there
The
if
uterus
it doesn't
wants to
work
get
out?
pregnant.
So,
But I
so
feel
let me throw
like
this
this.
out there to y'all. Let me throw this out to you there, Gio, because I agree with everything that both of you are saying, right? But y'all had best case scenarios. And you know what? I commend y'all because y'all really had really good case scenarios. There are scenarios, because I know a few girlfriends that been there, done that, and been through it, right? There are scenarios where the guys are just not that like that, right? And so, and they just, and you know what, Sin, you had a good setup, right? But there's sometimes where one of the parents is in a whole nother state.
I
And
wanted to move. I was going to move out of state, but I couldn't do that to him. I honestly wanted to move. I wanted to move so bad, but there was no way I was going to separate this man for his kids. He did nothing to me or to them. But I honestly wanted to leave the state because I never wanted to raise my kids in California. That was just never my dream. And so I'm like, if I'm gonna make a break, I might as well just leave. But then the thought of him not having any access to his kids, I could not do that to him. It would have went against everything I had preached. Because I also told him, if we ever separate, I'm never taking you to court. If you don't want to do for your kids, that's gonna be on you, between you and your kids. I'm not gonna make a judge tell you what to do for your children.
I'm gonna take you to court, saying, you want to know why? Because that's for my child. I'm gonna take you to court. We're gonna have a documented record because that money goes to my child. And I'm glad I did child support in both scenarios. Because my oldest daughter ended up getting a guap of money. Even though her father fell behind, when she was an adult, she got that payout. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Child support is not necessarily to hem you up financially. It's protection for the child. That money is for the child. The child deserves that money. And if something were to happen to me, at least there's an order in place to protect that child.
That's what insurance is for. I insure everybody. I insure
that as well. I mean, all that goes in the child support order too, because I don't know about anybody else, but when I went to child support, I ordered for them to have life insurance policies in place for the children, so that it is court ordered. And that's what, a lot of people frown upon the court system, but you need it as a tool, and it's to protect your children's rights, especially if you're not married.
Look, that part right
especially if
there,
you're not married.
that part right there. So see, here's the thing. It is a protection, right? And then a lot of times when the couple breaks up, it's not this kumbaya happy breakup moment, right? And so on that note, no one should have to call and say the child needs a biscuit, the child needs a shoe, the child needs this. When you have the court order, it's kind of like the mediator between y'all two, and
Mm-hmm.
you literally never have to call that person for a dime because
Mhm.
the order is in place, and if they don't pay it, it's going to go in arrears, and it will come to you or your child at some point. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be able to circumvent that bill. Two people
Yeah, but
made that child, and two people should take care of that child. Go ahead, Sam.
at when I was having kids, it was the situation was this. Men had a nasty habit because that was child support was not it wasn't it was when it was that's when they start taking your driver's license and all that. So
Yeah.
men would quit their jobs. They're bitter. They don't put in. They don't have the drive they used to have, or it's just they just become a different person. Or if they see you doing well, oh, she's taking care of some man with my money. I don't
Mm-hmm.
ever want to hear that. And that's like
Mm-hmm.
as a woman of my word, I told him I would never do it, and I didn't. And the court was ordered. He was ordered to pay $1,599. I got more than that a month just for him taking care of his kids and paying for school and books. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
true.
And
And
but
some
it
and
and it
some men
make
are upstanding like that, sin, and then others aren't, right? So you need
yeah
something in
yeah
place to hold them accountable, right? Because you don't want to get in a dispute and end up with charges. Okay, the last thing we want to do is be in jail fighting over money. So that's where the court order come in. Just
I got
to
God
protect
as
you.
my court order. My protection is God, and He's
Well,
protect.
he's
Like I said,
always
my son
first.
is 35. My daughter's 31. We have no grandkids. We have no abortions. We have no slip-ups. We have no nothing. My
Well,
kids
I've
are
been
not perfect
fortunate
by
enough
no
to raise a
means.
26-year-old, and I have now a 17-year-old. I'm about to be an empty nester.
Ooh,
So they're both
ooh.
very good girls.
Oh, listen. So am I, and it's going to be tears all in
Mm-hmm.
2023 because
Mm-hmm.
my one and only will be going to college. But
Oh,
the thing is, right? Y'all gave a very great case scenario, right? So I had a scenario where it was like, okay, I met this other person, and it's almost like that person for him, it's almost like the past life didn't exist. No, we're not about to do that, bro. That's not what we're gonna do. You could go live your whole life, your best life with that other person. But
Mm-hmm.
this kid you made right here, you still got to be held responsible for. And I'm not going to be calling you, texting you every day. That's not what I'm about to do.
Mm-mm.
So it was beneficial in a case like mine, where you and the other person cannot come to a meeting of the minds and be
Mhm.
adults, that you have to get someone else to just settle this thing for you. And when they hit the gavel and say XYZ, it'll be XYZ. And we're going to keep it moving.
Mhm.
Because there's too many men. I don't want to just blame it on men, right? But there's too many people that they can freely, well, I'll say this. It's easier for the man to freely walk away from their responsibilities and act like they don't have none out there. There's
Mhm.
so many men out there that don't even see their kids, their own child that they made. And it's baffling to me. How
Mhm.
could you not want to see your kid? Tristan Thompson is a prime example. You're
Mhm.
mad at this mother and you won't meet your own son, your own seed, but
But
then
you
you
lay down
parade
with
around.
no
Go ahead.
protection, Diva. You lay down with no protection, and you mad
Exactly.
at her. I mean, this is
Right.
this is sex as 101. Okay, we know how a baby is made, and so the child suffers because you want to be in your feelings because you were irresponsible. You were an irresponsible adult. He's a sad excuse for a man for doing that, and I feel the same way about Sherry Shepherd too, and the way she did that baby. I mean,
Right.
I know she pays the child support, but the way she abandoned it, like, how could you do that's a life.
That child's gonna get older. She's gonna have feelings. She's gonna see your pic. It's gonna be a 2020 special in about 15 years.
It is Black Swan, and I understand what you're saying, right? She said, I know women who ex or parents may have the children and had to be forced to take care of them, right? There are a few I know both in the house, and the man would buy what he wanted and that only.
Hmm.
So Sin, you made a good point, right? And your point was y'all kind of had a conversation about how y'all was gonna do this child rearing before you had the children, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
and that's really important too.
Hmm.
Sometimes when we get together, you're in the bliss of things, right? And
Mhm.
you see a person for who they are at that particular moment. And it's not until something important comes up that you see the other side. And once
Mhm.
you have that child, you got to deal with what you got to deal with. That's who you lay down with, and that's what you got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be beastly.
Yeah.
It is a messed up culture. I don't mean to try to make broad strokes. There's good male providers out there. There are amazing male providers out there,
We're
right?
speaking about them. We're speaking about
That's
them
what
right
we
now.
are. But there are some who just walk away from their responsibility. Listen, they would have never had to put this into law if this wasn't the case, right? So back
No,
in
no, they put into
1950,
law because the women hold the kids hostage too much. If you do a survey, at least
Mm-hmm.
today, if you do a survey today, most men would love to have a relationship with their kids. It's that mother they
It's the
don't want to have to
mamas.
deal with.
Yep.
It's
It
the
be the
mother they don't
mamas
want to
in the
deal
way.
with. Those a lot of men want to have a relationship with their kids. I speak to a lot of honest men because I want to know. But they want to have a relationship with their kids, but the mothers make it hard. One of my girlfriends like, girl, you get all his money and you make sure he do this and you make sure he do that. I said, these are still my kids. You live your life your way, I'm gonna live my life my way. I know who I'm dealing with. Okay.
You can't put a price tag on a father and child bond and
Relationship, nope,
relationship.
you
That is a
cannot.
priceless thing.
That's
That's
right.
one of the best things I had in my life as a foundation, my father. And whether he was good,
you
bad, or
cannot,
indifferent.
but I gotta speak for the other side, guys, right? And the other side is there's a reality that there's good men, there's some bad men, there's some men that really take care of their kids, there's some men that take care of other people's kids.
Yep.
And there's some men that will do none of the above, right? Knowing they
Yep.
made this child and they will not even look for this child, speak to this child, or try to nurture this child, or even give a dime towards that child's well-being.
I
And
think
so
that's
what
what they call
happens
F
is,
boys.
huh?
I think they call them F boys.
Uh-huh.
So, but see, what happens is too, when a mother has to go to what do they call it? The word I know is welfare or social services, so to
Uh-huh.
speak. When a
Mm-hmm.
woman goes to social services now, automatically they have to list the name of the father to their child if they know
Mm-hmm.
it, right? They have to list this father's name, and by no means of the mother, the social services looks for this father and gets the money back that they are giving to the mother from the father. Not the exact whole amount, but they do go after that father for money. The whole thing is with this support system is that there is an overwhelming number of men that walk away from their responsibility, and you need some way, shape, or form to hold them accountable and make them responsible. What are
Mhm.
your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Totally
I
agree.
agree too.
But
I feel like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You go ahead.
no. I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead. I'm thinking.
I feel like it has to be a system in place to hold them accountable. I know in New Jersey, like they'll suspend their license, they'll put out warrants and
Mm-hmm.
everything. It
Mm-hmm.
happened to my oldest child's father, and he called me crying like, because he had turned his life around and everything, living straight and narrow, and he had this warrant, didn't know about it or whatever. He called me crying like, I can't believe I was in jail again. I'm so sorry. I didn't even know about the warrant. But you need that system in place to kind of regulate
Checks
these
and
men.
balances.
You can't keep making kids like their crops in the farm, right?
Right, right,
But on the other end, it takes more than money. Kids need emotional support. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're not going to remember how much money their parents spent on them through the
That's
years. You
right.
know what I
That's
mean?
right.
They're going to remember the emotional support, the times that you were there. And I just really feel like our youth has really gotten away from the foundation of family and
Mm-hmm.
marriage, and they have made it a sport to be baby mamas,
Mm-hmm.
and to have multiple kids. It's disheartening because one of those kids are getting cheated one way or another. I mean, you're
Funny.
only one person. How can you be everywhere at once?
well, Nick Cannon is a prime example of making a mockery of the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these ladies are helping him do it. He's not doing this solo, right? He's
You're
not doing
right.
it alone.
No,
They're
there's
helping
eight
him do
dummies
it.
out there. There's at least 8 dummies out there.
At the very least,
At
right?
the
At
very
the very
least.
least. And it's like but like you said, there's a lot of females that their goal in life is just to get with someone that has money and
Mhm.
have a baby, and that's their goal in life. To get with someone, get this big paycheck, and have money. And it's sad that that's what the world has come to,
It really
because
is.
you're impacting the child. Yes, go ahead.
No, it really is sad, Diva. I totally agree with you. Like, I just really feel like um everyone's more interested in sleeping with each other and how can we come up, right? And
Right.
they're not looking ahead at the results that we'll have in the future. And just for example, look at Ray J, right? He started out with Kim and his tape, and now he's coming out now recently saying, oh, it was a whole setup by her mom and this and that. Because he's looking back now on his younger years, and now he has a daughter and a son that can look this up, but they don't even care about protecting their privacy or anything. They're just like all out in the open, and I feel like they've made a mockery of marriage and what the institute of marriage is really about, and it's really disheartening.
I think they
Oh,
just living for the here and the now. They're not
Uh-huh.
thinking about the
Instant
mm,
future at
gratification.
all. They want to get everything fast. All money ain't good money. If you get it fast
Mm-mm.
and you ain't work hard about for it, you need to ask yourself, what is it all about? Like, I mean,
Oh,
I just don't understand. It's like these Instagram models. It's too much. And then I thought that COVID was the way to kind of bring us all back together, because
mm-mm.
family had really, been pulled apart. And you talking about being focused. These kids can't even walk down the street without their head being down, looking in the phone.
Oh my God, you can't even have a simple get together
You
without
know?
everyone looking down. Like, I'm old school. Like, I'm used to
Yeah.
communicating. I'm used to picking up the phone. And one of my pet peeves is like, do not call me and say, hey, did you see my social media? Like, I mean,
Ooh.
But wait, hold on one second. Miss D said I was only getting $30 a week for a child who is now 31, and he has 5 kids now. Are you saying your ex has 5 kids now? Yeah, and what is $30 a week gonna do?
Mhm.
nothing.
Nothing. Now, if you were getting $30 a week and he was actively in this child's life, coming to get him, getting the child on the weekends and stuff like that, it'd be a little different, right? The thing is, what people have to understand, if that parent is not helping you at all with this child, you need, at the very bare minimum, you need the money, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Because
for
if they
sure.
were helping you, then maybe if they was coming 3 days out the week and the kid was with them 3 days out the week, that's 3 less days that you have to feed somebody.
Hmm.
Okay. So food costs money. Then not only that, it's your mental health too, right? It's 3 less days that they saying, mommy, 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 mommy,
Hmm.
mommy.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And
That's what I
you
tried.
get to, even if you just want to lay in your bed and just marinate in your bed for a
Just be
minute. But
you.
when you are the primary caregiver and you have 24/7, it's just you and the kids. It's not right, it's not fair, and you need some type of help. And at the bare minimum, they should be financially responsible. Because you can never make a person come see their kid. It has
Never.
to be in them, right? So at the very least, if you're not going to be here, give me the finances. So then maybe one
Hmm.
day I can get a babysitter. Maybe I can take them to the movies. I can buy them the sneakers that they want. I can take them to the park. Listen, even when you do free activities cost money. You go to the
Yes.
park, then they want an ice cream, or you got to get this, or you got to get that. Nothing in this life is really free.
If
Kids
you don't
cost
buy every
money.
food, you
Yes,
got to
go
buy
ahead.
gas. It's gonna cost you
Yeah,
something, even if it's just gas. It's gonna
yep,
cost something.
And
yep.
can I say I can relate to the out of state scenario because my youngest child's father ultimately when she got about I want to say 7, he decided to leave the state, chase his dreams. She was heartbroken. She went from seeing her father every single day, and guess who was the punching bag, Diva? And
Who?
I had me. I didn't have anyone to share that responsibility with. She was angry at me. I had to deal with all the acting out in school. She didn't understand why her father didn't want to be here with her.
He didn't talk to her before he left, explain everything to her.
A short, brief synopsis, but it was basically like, I'm just doing what I want to do, and so
No, that's not good. You said 7.
yeah,
She was 7.
yeah, she was 7, so
No,
she
that's
felt like, why am I not good enough for you to stay here with me? And then on top of that, he was leaving for another relationship. So when she found that out, she was just like, what? Like, she just felt not validated as his daughter. In a whim, their whole relationship changed. And I was the punching bag. Like, and it's still to this day is me running her around. And it's not fair because I shouldn't have to do this all by myself. I should have another partner. But you chose to leave out the state so far away so
Mhm.
you could be a virtual dad.
selfish.
Right, and it's
Selfish.
it's not right. Hold on, let me read this. What Fifi said. Forgive me if you already covered this. How do you feel about the mom's income being factored into the payments in some states? You know what, Fifi? Listen, that whole system, it is not perfect. All I can say is it at least is there as a bare minimum to try to help. But I think that is dead wrong. I think it's messy. It's messy is all I can say. Tracy, thank you so much for the super sticker. You got 683 a week in CT don't play. Is that Connecticut?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? You were again very fortunate. Was that one child or was it more than one? Very, very, very fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when it comes to this child support, sometimes people play games. All of a sudden they not making no money.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta do this, they gotta do that. It's not
Mm-hmm.
right. Yes, even he has 5 kids and he never came to get them. But now after all the hard work is done, they're hanging out together and I'm tired of all this. You know
Now
what?
see,
It's a lot. And I think that when you living in one state and you made children in that state, and then you meet somebody else and you go to another whole nother state and you leave your kids behind, that's a messy decision to make,
it
right?
is. It is
Because now
irresponsible.
you're not seeing the kids. Now you're not going to be in their lives and active.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a messy decision. I think when people, here's the thing. Now, I believe in marriage. I believe in the Bible. And listen, they said get married to save yourself until you get married for a reason. Not saying that you will never get divorced, but at the very least, you have the potential to prevent all of the shenanigans, right? Because if you
Correct.
get married, you get just you and your maid, and y'all gonna potentially be in this house together and take care of those kids, right? But
Yep.
when you are not married, and listen, I never been married, and I have my son, so I just want people not to get emotional about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something I lived through. You know what I'm saying? So my son, I
Mm-hmm.
That's
lived through.
right.
When you do not get married and you have this kid outside of marriage, it's a whole nother set of shenanigans that you go through. And trust me, you don't want to live your life like that. At best, I would say to the generation that's coming up, try to do things. And I don't know, nobody can say really what is the right way, right? But try to do things better. And don't just lay down with anybody. Because like you said, when you about to lay down with somebody, think to yourself, that could be your potential child's father or
Mm-hmm.
mother. And that person, whether you marry them or not, they're going to be a part of your life for the rest of your life because they're going to be the connection between you and that child. It's a lot.
So
Mm-hmm.
much easier just to wear a condom to
I,
protect
I mean,
yourself.
it's
So
cheaper
much
too,
easier.
Sin. Okay, it's so much cheaper, and I don't.
And
And
especially because
they have so
they know
many.
they just hitting it. They know they just hitting it. They ain't trying to have no baby.
But Diva, look how many options the young people have now when it comes to birth control, right? Compared to when we was coming up, right? You don't even have to get an abortion anymore. Okay, you can just take a pill
Mm-hmm.
and be.
Well, no, but now these new
Well, now
laws
with
and
all
some
the
of these
rules
things,
and
right?
stuff,
It's a mess.
it's a
Listen,
mess.
let me tell you, I was on birth control that asked you pills, okay? Then I went to, and I really think this messed up my whole body, but it is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was on that depot shot for a
Depo
long
Provera.
time.
Depo Provera.
Child,
Me and you both. Mm-hmm.
I think, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I think we could sue behind that darn depot shot because the very idea when you think about it is you never got your period. Your period only came on I think the double shot lasted for 3 months, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say your period only started to come on as the 3rd month was kind of
Mm-hmm.
rolling in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you will go back and get that shot again. And then if
Mm-hmm.
you think about the whole idea of your cycle, it's to cleanse your body and so forth and so on. I think that shot was a mess, but it is what it is. And I also read that they used to give that shot to inmates so that they would not want to, have a high desire to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
That shot was a whole hot mess, but
It
it is what
was.
it is. Okay,
It
it's a
threw
whole
my
hot mess.
body out of whack.
Yeah, you and me both.
It threw my
Wow,
body
that's
out of
interesting. Y'all
whack.
say that, and I'm thank you for that information, Diva, because I know you're a nurse. Food for
Right.
thought for sure, because I know someone directly dealing with something like that, and it's been some
Are
things
they
going
still? Are
on.
they still? Are they still get that shot?
Yeah, they still give it in Jersey.
Really?
I haven't
Yeah,
I
had
had
to
a
leave for
friend
birth
but
who.
the
control.
person
Okay,
has
let
been
me just read this real
emotionally
quick, guys.
erratic.
Hold on 1 second. I had a friend who told her son's daddy if he had 3 exes with her one more time, she would drop the child support claim against him, which unfortunately he agreed. Agreed a what? Am I reading this wrong? A disservice to her son. A
I don't
disservice to her son.
a disservice, I think.
Wait, I had a friend who told her son's daddy if he had 3 exes with her one
Oh,
time.
if he had X, if he has.
Oh, if he has, I'm reading. Okay, I got it now. I'm figuring out now. I'm being slow. Thank you. Okay, I see what she's saying. See, yeah, see, that's the thing. You don't dip and dab. Once it's over, it's over. Let it be just about the kids. Tracy, thank you for the super sticker. 2 kids I asked for daycare, 300 a month in 1989. He didn't pay. Him playing with paying for daycare. I made $15 an hour at IRS to his 150K. The judge was so unfair. What you gonna say? Was the judge unfair? It's a mess, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
mess. And see, that's the other burden when somebody leaves like that. Now you're a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go to work. These kids got to go somewhere, and even if they're in school, if they're of school age, right? Let's say they're out of daycare. If they're of school age, the school doesn't last the same work hours. So now, either you got to get your kid in an after-school program, which costs money,
Mm-hmm.
or your kids are going to be home alone, which is a disaster. It's a mess. It's not fair and it's not right. But at the
Uh,
very least, if that mate still lives in the same state and maybe in the same town or close enough, they can perhaps maybe get the kids after school. Maybe y'all can work
Mm-hmm.
something out. It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
lot.
but I mean, you plan your work schedules accordingly, and that's how I had it set up with my youngest child's father. Like I dropped her in the morning, he did the breakfast, he put her on the school bus and everything. And then after school, she would go there from the bus, and then when I came from work, I would pick her up. In the evenings, belong to me. You know, you
Yeah.
adjust your life accordingly, just so that the child is benefiting all around and is solid, because that was my
exactly.
main thing. I wanted a solid foundation for my child, and I felt like part of that was her seeing both her families regularly. You know, she needed
Right.
that.
Right. And that's a good thing. So Adrian, you said if you get pregnant and you're not married, you need to be prepared to care for that child by yourself.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you should have to. Well, you know what, Adrian, I'm not mad at you. You speaking facts. You
Mm-hmm.
speaking facts that we would need to talk to the young people about, the young ladies really, right? If
Yeah.
Yes.
if if
They have
you
to
you
value
gotta be
themselves
prepared.
more.
You gotta be prepared for what you laying down and having sex is a big responsibility. Are you ready for that? Tracy, oh, you said the judge was mad. Thank you, Tracy, for the super sticker. Yeah,
My
it's just it's messy. It's
Mm-hmm.
really messy. Go
when we
ahead, Sim.
initially,
Would you want to say something?
I was gonna say that when we initially separated, it was he would come get the kids. He's like, can I come get the kids? I'm like, sure, anytime, whatever time you want to come get them. So he had this little nasty habit. He'd come around about 8 o'clock at night after the kids had breakfast, lunch, dinner, and ready for bed. And then the first one to yawn in the morning or go to the bathroom, he's bringing them back home. And I let that go on for a little while. I didn't change the locks in the house or anything. I left everything as is. And he started taking advantage, listening to my answering machine, coming in without knocking, just using his key, being abusive. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let you do what you do. You're gonna hang yourself. And then I'm like, listen, there's 24 hours in a day. I need you to choose the days you want to have them. Because now when you get them, if you pick them at 7 o'clock in the morning, do not think about bringing them back to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And once he picked his days, that was it, and that was all. I had my vacation days to myself, and he had his vacation days to themselves. These women want to hold these kids hostage. They are taking time away from themselves where they can
Yes,
be
they are.
recharging. They can be
Exactly.
recharging, hanging out
Yep.
with the girls, doing some
Dating.
laundry, cleaning their behind, having sex with another dog, or whatever.
No, but
You
I love
know,
my every other weekends, okay? Because I
you
live my
know,
best
I
life
don't.
every other weekend,
You
okay?
need it. You need it. You got to recharge. You need it.
You have
You
to. You have
well,
to.
sometimes you just need time just to be yourself, right, ladies?
Yes.
Do your own self-care. Okay, I want to be able to get my nails done. I have two girls, Diva, so they expensive, all right? Um, and sometimes I
Listen,
just want to
let
get
me
my
tell you
nails.
something. Girls are expensive. Only
Boys
kids
ain't
are
cheap.
expensive. Kids are expensive, period. Okay.
Yeah, because
And
boys are not cheap. My
I
son
know
costs
boys
me
are
more than my
expensive.
daughters. You can dress a girl really cute for $20, not a boy.
no,
Yeah,
you
no,
For twenty
boys
cannot.
stuff
bucks.
is expensive, but I'm talking about when it comes to the grooming, the hair. You know, I only could do their hair but so long. It even got to the point I couldn't handle all three heads. Okay, like we got to go to the beauty parlor. You
Yeah,
know, so it's
yeah,
expensive to maintain girls, and sometimes you just want to be able to get a pedicure without having your daughter look over like, oh, you got a pedicure, why couldn't I? You know, it's
okay. True story. Back in 1995, I
Wait,
work at.
hold on, Sin. I'm gonna let you tell your story. Miss D, which comment did I miss of yours that you want me to read?
because you made a bunch. You read a bunch.
Yeah, it's a lot of married single mothers. Being married doesn't mean anything. Well, see, that's a whole nother, if that's the comment you want me to read, that's a whole nother subject we could get into, right? Because again, I think it goes back to what Sin was saying. You gotta have a lot of conversation with your mate before you decide to have these children.
Mm.
Because yes, there are households where both parents are working full time, but still, when the mother comes home, the wife comes home, she's doing everything for the kids, for the dinner, for the this, and the man is kicked back and relaxing. But that's when a whole lot of conversation has to happen.
Exactly, because you
You have to
raised him that
require
way.
them.
You raised him that way. If he does that, it's
Mm-hmm.
because you teach people how to treat you.
Uh-huh. Go ahead,
Mm,
You
Sin.
teach people how to
Get
treat
it.
you. And if you allowed him, let me tell you, everything I did for these kids, my husband could do for these kids. Change a
Mm-hmm.
diaper, wash it behind, clothes, everything. There were some things I was a stickler about, he didn't bother. There was things he was stickler about, I didn't bother. But for the most
Mm-hmm.
part, we shared everything. Okay?
Exactly. The only thing we
So
didn't share was bath time, Sin, because I had girls, okay? Because I was going to make sure my girls was protected.
right,
so
Okay.
right.
he so one day he takes the kids and he brings them home early in the morning, and he's like, my key didn't open the door. I said, oh really? He's like, yeah. He said, and if I come back tomorrow and it don't open the door, I'm not gonna be held responsible for what I might do. I said,
Oh,
oh, okay. So I called my mother-in-law and I said, listen, your son over here talking crazy. So if something happens, if I unalive him, would you like me to bury him here or send him to you? She's like,
Oh,
what are you talking about? Because listen, when it all went down, he called everybody in his black book that belonged to me, my family. Everybody in my family knew what we were
can't
going through.
stand
He
that.
didn't tell anybody in his family what was going on. And at this point, it
mm,
was 6 months in. They didn't know anything. She's like, what are you talking about? They didn't know anything that was going on. I said, look, I don't want to hurt him, but I do want to put, if he comes in here without my consent, I will shoot him in the kneecap. I'm not going to try to hurt him, but I will shoot him in the kneecap so that way I can hear him in the
Oh,
wheelchair. When he come in the next time, I'm gonna hear that wheelchair coming here. Don't come in here threatening me. I don't do that. And so he's like, why'd you call my mom? I said, why didn't you tell your mom? How come my mom and my family knows everything that's going on? Nobody in your family knows what we're going through.
mm-hmm.
And
Boys
now
don't pass.
I need their support now. because you thought I feel threatened. You're making me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And I never said I was I raised my kids by myself because I've never been a single parent. I didn't do none of this by myself. I'd be lying to say that I did. But what I did do, because we had a nanny when I had the twins, we got a nanny. My gynecologist said, look, she had twins. She said, you got to get a nanny. And I read my insurance from back cover to cover. I'm like, is that part of the insurance? A nanny? She said, "Oh no, but I have twins, and I have to get a
Wow.
nanny. You're also a doctor. Thank you. I'm just a nurse. Hold down." So then we had this massive layoff. We got separated in 1995. We separated, right? There was a massive layoff. 2 months later at the hospital, I was laid off. I'm like, good Lord. My nanny was like, I'm gonna keep the girl, I'll keep the kids, you do what you need to do, get your sleep. And then I went back to work. They kind of just reflex the hours, and it ended up working out better. Instead of me going in 5 days, I only had to go 3 or 4. So it all worked out. And I
Yeah.
worked the night shift, so that way when I go to work, my kids are either going to sleep or are asleep. I don't want them to be a burden on anybody, my mother, their father, or anybody that had to end up keeping them. But for the most part, when I was at work, he had them, and when he was at work, I had them, or my mom had them. They were never outside of that unless they were their godparents or my brother. But we had a system, and it worked.
Good for
My
you.
my youngest daughter wants kids, and she's like, by 35, she said, I plan on being pregnant 3, 4 years straight in a row. And if it's not conventional, she will be going to a bank to get it because she wants to have her kids.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
she's already
technology has
prepared.
really advanced nowadays.
Yeah,
Like when it
exactly.
comes
And
to
right, and she's prepared to do it alone, without that person if she has to, because she wants to have them. But like she says, I have my uncle, I have my brothers, I have my dad, I got my mom, my grandmas, my aunts. Everybody will all be there for her. Long as she goes in with her eyes open and knows what she's getting into, you do you.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But understand what you're doing before you do it. Because I want
and
to have another
understand
kid.
that there's consequences regardless, whether they're
Right.
good or bad at the end of every decision, whether they're good or bad, right? So you have to
Yeah.
really prepare yourself either way. And I can relate to that, Sin, even Black Swan's statement, because my youngest child's father, we were in a 5-year relationship. I decided to leave. It just wasn't a healthy situation. It just got toxic. I moved out. I picked up a second job, doing the catering hall. And a week after I started that job, I found I was pregnant with my youngest daughter.
Wow. Wow. Hold on, Kanani. Let me read this. Black Child said, when I have been told I couldn't get pregnant, when I did and it was detected, I was almost 8 months.
Oh
Wow.
my
That's
Yeah,
the
gosh.
it was the
story.
same situation. I was told that I couldn't produce anymore or whatever, and I was comfortable in my decision in leaving. I had one child, you know what I mean? Went and got my 1-bedroom apartment, Diva. Okay, you do what you gotta do,
What?
to build
Okay.
yourself back up. And I moved out of that situation, and then it's like, boom, you're pregnant. So now I'm faced with this decision, right? And at that time, my older daughter was 10. So it's not like I got mad pregnancies or anything. So now I'm looking like, this might be my last chance to give her a sibling.
A
You know what I'm
blessing in
saying?
disguise.
And I knew he was not suited to be the type of father, but I just looked at the life I was carrying, and I'm happy I brought her in the world because she's the most talented young lady out there. I boost her up all the time,
Yeah,
but
long as you pour into her, she's gonna be that. She's gonna be
absolutely, I'm
all
gonna
that
pour
and
into
then some.
her.
People have
You know what? I feel a lot of guilt, ladies, because her father started out great and turned around, right, and stopped not being there and everything. And she's very angry behind that. And I just have to pour into her, like you said, and just give her that much extra love. But it gets exhausting.
it can be. I'm sure it's
It does. But
exhausting, but do you guys talk? Do you have, like, not big talks, just a bunch of little talks, just to get her more comfortable with what's going on, get a feeling for
Absolutely.
her feelings, how she's feeling emotionally,
Hmm.
because they get in their heads a lot. They think
Hmm.
it's them,
Hmm.
and they harbor a bunch of guilt too because they don't know it. So
Exactly.
you have to be as transparent with them as possible so that they know it is not you, baby. And I
Yeah,
hate
and
to
I just
say
make
it's
sure
him,
like I
but it
don't
is
bash
him.
her dad, sin.
No,
I
no,
make
yeah,
sure I
yeah,
don't
no,
bash her
never
dad.
that.
Even though I may have my feelings, that is
Oh
not her
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
At the end of the day, I still try to promote the respect of your parent, whether he's here or not. He may come around again and they may can build that again. So I try to make sure I create a platform where she feels open enough to come talk to me about whatever she's feeling and help her work through those feelings. And I kind of like try to coach sorry guys. She's older now, so it's now more her communicating with her dad without me.
Mm-hmm.
And so
uh-huh,
she may come to me like, well, how should I talk to my dad about this? Because I don't feel like he's giving me what I need emotionally. And I just try to coach her in a positive manner. And that's why I don't sit around and like bash her dad and this and that or whatever. Because he's human. He's going through his
yeah.
own struggles and I meet him where he's at, you know. But at the end of the day, that's just still her father.
Yeah, and kids are very resilient. They don't have to be there for 20 years, and at the 21st year, the kid act like they've been with them all their life. Oh my God, my dad,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
or they're the total opposite. You know, you just never know with a child, so you don't want to poison their mind. You want
Mm-hmm.
to,
Right.
you want to feed them as much information to about their parent as possible, so that way they can be like, well, what? Okay, I'll give him a chance. And if he comes around, he comes around. If he doesn't, you didn't paint a bad picture. Because at the end of the day, I can't paint a bad picture because then that makes me look bad. You were with a bump. You mean tell me my dad's a bump? Why are you saying all these bad things about him? That means you made a bad decision. You don't make good decisions. You know, at the
So,
end of the
Mm-hmm.
see,
day,
no,
it's still
here's the thing though, right? What parents have to understand is that child is 50% you, 50% their dad,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if you're talking bad about their dad, essentially it's almost like you're talking bad about them. So
Mm-hmm.
uh-huh.
you definitely should, no matter what, reserve your tongue. It is what it is. This
Mm-hmm.
is who you chose. This is who you
Mm-hmm.
laid down with. And this is who you made your beautiful blessing with. And,
Uh-huh.
the truth will always surface, whatever the truth may be, right?
Yep.
And you just
Mm-hmm.
got to tell your child that, you know what? Everybody, whether they're your parent or not, they're human. They go through things. Your dad may be going through something right now. Let's both love him while he's going through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you never know your dad. Sometimes no matter if you're a parent or not, a person can't give you what they don't even have themselves.
Exactly. Gotta
Exactly.
understand the
Exactly.
pathology, Diva, where they
Yes.
came from. I
Right,
Yes.
learned that going into
right,
my 40s, understanding that pathology of where people came from. They're only doing the best they can with what they know how, right, Diva? And the
Yes.
same thing with my
exactly.
mom. Like, when I got into my 30s, like it was like a self reflection of like me and my mom's relationship, and I had to understand where she came from to understand what her thinking was. And guess
Hmm.
what? I was able to forgive her for a lot of things that I thought she lacked on, right? She grew up how she grew up and she always provided us with a good life. But I had to forgive her because you know what? She was just human trying to do the best she could as a
Right,
single mother.
Yeah. When you know
right.
better, you do better. And now I bet you're a
Yeah.
better. You think you're a better parent than your mom was to you. At least you're
Mhm.
trying to be a better parent to your kids than you felt like your
Absolutely.
mom was to you. Or you don't want them to lack that love, affection that you felt like you didn't get. A lot of
Hmm.
people are jealous of some of the simplest things, but they're really big things. My daughters are like, people always tease me talking about you still hug and kiss your mom and dad. She's like, yeah,
Absolutely.
every day. And they're like, I said, see, that's you're rich. You're rich because you have that. I said, people live in the same house and they don't tell each other they love them. They don't even say good morning
Yeah.
to one another. Like,
The
I don't
simple
understand that. You
courtesies.
walk into a room, you know what I'm saying? You walk into a room, you walk in, you say good morning. Okay. If they don't respond, that's on them. But you say good
Hmm.
morning,
Hmm.
you know? Or if I walk into somebody walk in the room and I'm there, I'm like, did I speak with you last night? You
Yeah.
know, open your mouth, speak. Salutation. It's
Hmm.
not hard. Even
Hmm.
nod your head, do something. You
Hmm.
know,
Right.
but
Hmm.
relationships are complex, but they don't
Yes,
have
they
to be.
are.
You just
Yes,
have
they
to be
are.
really open to communicating honestly with
Yes,
the other person that you're dealing with. You
exactly.
know, you
And
got to
the
keep it a
honesty is the
buck. It could
key.
be painful. It could be painful sometimes, but the
Hmm.
honesty will get him all the time.
Exactly.
I
You,
knew
And
who I married. I
well,
knew
here's
who I
the
laid
thing,
down with.
guys. let me throw this out there. Here's the thing. Sometimes you cannot talk to people. Sometimes they are in the mode where they're being a straight beast. And at that moment, you do have to unfortunately take the hit in the name of the child. But I wish that everybody was that open and can be that mature, so to speak, right? Sometimes when you break up, for whatever reason, whether it be you or the other person, sometimes there's a bitter person amongst the two people. And when you have somebody that's bitter, that won't communicate, that won't rise above and be mature enough in the name of the child, that's when you have to make different decisions and say to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna take this hit for my child, but at the same time, I gotta protect myself. And knowing that I cannot even communicate with this person, I'm not gonna communicate with them. I'm still gonna let them come pick up their child, see their child, do whatever. But I gotta stop communicating with them because if I don't stop, somebody's going to get choked. Like you know what I'm saying? Because it's like people, they manipulate situations for their own, to weigh things in their own favor. And
Yeah.
it's sad. It's really sad. And it's like even if you can sometimes plead with the person too and be like, listen, for the love of the kid, let's not do this, let's not blah 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 blah. And you think you got through to them, and then the next thing you know, they turn around, they're doing the same shenanigans over and over again. And it's just crazy. And sometimes I can't always blame it on the other person, but sometimes that new person is in their ear and they acting a fool because that new person is in their ear telling them don't do this, don't do that, or whatever. Because sometimes the new person, even though the person is with them now, they jealous of the old person. They're thinking, oh, when you go over there, something's going to happen. It gets messy. The lines get blurred. And it's like, at that point, to me, when you get in a blended situation, for lack of a better word, all of y'all need to be friends. Like all of the adults.
Exactly, Diva.
All of the adults. Y'all need to be have some type of relationship for the betterment of the children. Okay. That's just my thought process on it. But I've known so many people that they had a very, very hard time because they just could not communicate with the mate, with their ex-mate. And then it was a compounded situation because their new partner didn't make anything better. Right.
Okay, so Diva, I have an example for you. Like I told you earlier, I'm in a current situation. I'm dating, and he's dealing with that same scenario because the mom is so bitter and she wants to control everything. We just had a major event this past weekend, 24 Hours of Peace. It was hosted by Queen Latifah. Fabulous was there. It was a star-studded event, and
Nice.
it was my mate's birthday, and he's like begging his child's mom, like, can you please let me see my son for my birthday? Like, and he's rolling out his business. He has a custom t-shirt business and stuff like that, so naturally he wants his child there to be there in celebration so he could see his dad standing on his own 2 feet. She decided to come, and it was an epic moment, and I caught it on camera, Diva. And his son just walked up to him like, Dada. And put
Oh,
his
so
arms
he's
up.
young. The baby's young
Oh,
then.
he's a baby.
He was young. And let me tell you something. It's an unfortunate situation. He came out of a situation that wasn't like committed. You know what I mean? But, he has a father that wants to be there every step of the way. And the mother is bitter and does not want to let him see his son, because why? She only wants him on her couch with the child.
Yeah.
And I don't want my
happens.
child around anyone else. And she came up to our booth, saw our 2 tables, both our businesses are booming. And I looked at her and smiled, Diva, trying to be inviting. So like, hey, come, you're saying you don't want your child around someone you don't know. Here it is. I want to open up and give you that platform. But she's so in her feelings about controlling the situation. I'll be back for him.
Oh yeah.
I'll be
And
back.
you're
Well,
nice.
she still wants him, right? She still wants her baby daddy. So
I guess so.
That's her main problem right there, right?
And
And
that's it.
that's her main problem. And here's the thing. That's the thing about these casual situations. I'm a label it that, right?
Mm-hmm.
People love to think that they have the wherewithal to be in a casual situation. Obviously, she did not, because you see, a baby came out of this casual situation, and now you're in your feelings because you wanted to turn this casual situation into a relationship. You can't do things
I don't
backwards
understand.
because it's always going to
Yeah, I don't
backfire
get
on you.
that. That's what Planned Parenthood is about. Planned Parenthood. You plan
Right.
it. My children were planned. Like, if I never got pregnant when I didn't want to be pregnant, because I protected myself. And I made sure they
Exactly.
protected themselves. I'm not afraid. STD you could probably get rid of. There's some stuff out there that'll hang on like luggage, honey.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Like luggage,
And I
like
have to know
luggage.
what's
Hold
going on
on
with
one
my.
second. Let me just read this for 1 second. Leslie said, yes, Diva, when I got divorced, my ex talked about me to the boys bad because I had boundaries and don't deal with him at all. See, that's a problem too, right? And this happens a lot where the parents
Mm-hmm.
will start to alienate one of the other parents by talking bad to the child about the parent. I think it's just sad when that happens, and it happens a lot. And again, guess who lose out more? The
The
child
The
loses out.
children,
child.
the
Uh-huh.
The
child.
child.
Or when they're with the parent, when they're with the other parent, they want to know what's going on at their house. No, 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 no. You
Oh
don't ask
no,
your
Right.
kid.
he's been
All you
here,
ask your
guys.
kid
He's
if
been
if they
here, safe, went home safe. She called every hour. You know, just because I want to make myself present, right? To know that
Hmm.
you're there. And I don't have a problem. Like, you're his mother. You know what I mean? But I would never try to harm any child or put a child in danger. But you have to be open to having a relationship. Now, she was
she
a
doesn't
non-factor when I got with my mate. You know what I
she
mean? Like,
she's
he
still a
was free and
non-factor.
clear. She did not want him. And now all of a sudden, because he made a choice to come out of your control, it's like, oh, you can't see your son when you want, only under my control.
Mm.
And
How how old is the little baby?
he's two. He's two.
Oh
Oh.
wow.
And the cutest, he's the cutest. He's so cute. And very like in tune with his father. As soon as he's with his father, he's in his arms. They're doing the ABCs. He's a smart little boy. And I just feel like he's being robbed. And it breaks my heart. Like, because I see my mate being sad on a regular basis because he just misses his son. He just misses his son.
So this is my suggestion is that, you know, she may never get over it.
I told him to
And
go to the courts, Diva. It's time to go to court.
it is time to go to court, right? But see, the thing is, people can still bust the system even after the court sit there gavel and say he gets every other weekend or this and that. She
Yeah.
seemed like the type that she's still going to make up an excuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Go up
and
and
that's not
lose.
me discouraging him from going to court. I think he should because he has a right to see his child.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, regardless of if she hears him or not, and I would do nothing like verbally on the phone. I would text her. So
Everything's text.
I became the text queen, right? Because you can't, because you know what? You can't dispute and twist up the written word. Okay.
Ah.
And I had to say to, my person, I had to say, let me tell you something. You could say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, they could pull the transcripts from our text because that's the only way I began to communicate with them because of like it was so much going on,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my words were being twisted. And
Mm-hmm.
and because we was together for over 20 years. And
Wow.
so because we was together so long, even though it was over, I was still very trusting of him, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then when I found out that he was twisting everything up, that's when I made an executive decision and I never opened my mouth again. Girl,
Again.
everything was text or email. And so that way I had my backup. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I said, what? I was like, I never even spoke to you. So let me pull up the text. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what he has to do with her because unfortunately she's upset that he actually found someone else now. So
Mm-hmm.
she was cool when he wasn't with nobody. All
Mm-hmm.
right. It's almost like that thing of, I can't have you. I don't want nobody to have you. So she was cool when he wasn't with anybody, but now that he got you, and it seems like y'all are flourishing, it's a problem for her. But it's wrong for the little baby. So I would text her everything. I would be calm, and I would just, text like, good evening, hello, can I see my baby? Ba 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 ba. And
we
then,
got to
but like you
schedule,
said,
Diva. We got to schedule. We got to schedule on the text. Like every day, he's checking on his child. She responds goofy half the time, but we got a record. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you
We
gotta
got a
do.
record, and we just building the case to present to the judge, and
Yeah.
we'll let the judge decide.
Yeah.
And
He's gonna
that's
get
the
his
point. Is that
time. He's gonna get his time. Kerns, you're in the building. Hey, what do you want to add to the conversation?
Hey, I see it's about what's up, everybody? Happy Friday.
Happy
We're talking about
Friday.
child supports and whatnot. What happened? Who owes
Relationship.
Everybody
No, we just,
Hey,
what?
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, it's a hot topic. So here's the thing with child support. All I'm saying is that equally, two people made this kid, two people need to pay. So it's a demise of the relationship. And okay, so y'all broke up, y'all can no longer get along, but this kid should not suffer.
Exactly.
Right. And so therefore you should definitely make sure that whatever you leave behind, whether it's one child, is 3, is 10, is 9, is 8, all of those kids, they should really get your time also. But at the very least, if you're not going to give them their time, then you need to give up your funds, because they still need to eat a piece of chicken at night. They still need to get a sneaker. They still need to get a shoe. And a lot of men feel like, oh, I'm not paying this mother's rent, light bill, gas bill, or whatever. Unless you're talking about like an Alex Rodriguez who has to pay $115,000 a month. Most of these men, when they pay that child support, it's not paying nobody's light, a mortgage, rent, or whatever. It's covering exactly what it's covering. Probably something that's going to go towards that kid. Now, am I saying that there's not a parent out there that doesn't do the right thing with the money? Of course there is, right? Because there's not perfect people. But for the most part, those parents, those mothers, they are doing what's right by their kid. What do you want to add to the conversation?
I totally agree with what you said. I mean, it takes two to tango. And so if two of you tango, then both y'all should be paying equally. And if you have multiple kids, you need to be taking care of them all the same level across. And so if at least the base level across, I don't know why one kid would get $10,000 a month and another kid would get $20,000 a month. I'm not sure about that. But if you made those kids, then they all getting something a month. And but I do think that like $100,000 a month to take care of a kid is excessive. Even if you were used to that lavish lifestyle, like that's excessive to call it just for child support. Like that's college support, not child support. Okay. And if you bring in that monthly, then that's like amazing. Good for you. I want to be on your team. But I feel like it's an excessive amount. Okay. Just call it what it is. You get that money and you probably still only spending a couple G's on your kid. I mean, are you buying him a Lamborghini a month? What do you need the freaking money for? That's crazy. But definitely take care of him if you made him, y'all. Don't argue with me later. Don't argue with me later. It's not all my responsibility just because I like sex as much as you.
Okay.
I know, but
you know what I'm saying?
Adrian, you know what? I think that's dreadful too. This meeting at the library and stuff, pick them up from McDonald's at church. It's just, to me, you're just damaging the kid. But again, when you break up with someone and they are just they're not cooperating, they're not thinking about the kids, it becomes so problematic and messy. It's actually very sad.
Exactly,
It's
Diva.
really very sad.
Exactly, Diva. And
It's
I'm kind of
heart-wrenching.
like, if you break up, right? The only thing I'm concerned with, you date whoever you want. I don't care. Okay. Only thing I'm concerned with is that person safe enough to be around my child? That's the only question I have. And the only way I can get that answered is if I get to know the person that's involved, right? And so it's my job to make it as peaceful as possible whenever we have an encounter, right or wrong.
Yeah.
and try to get to know her and this and that. It's not my concern whether y'all stay together or not. That's not my problem.
Right.
Because I've moved on too. And
I
that's
think
the
that's
purpose
really
of me
responsible,
breaking
though.
up. Okay? Like,
Yeah.
you got it, sister.
That's super duper responsible to
Maybe
even
it'll be better for you.
want to forge a relationship for that. That's very, like, I feel like that's progressive. If you're
Yeah.
woman enough or man enough to be like, look, we still have these kids to deal with. Let's get to know each other. You're going to be around my kid. You shouldn't even have a problem with me wanting to know you if you're going to be around my minor child. Like, don't get attitude, or else that's a red flag, technically.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So I
Well,
agree.
let me tell you how I had to bite the bullet. And I did it because my child was older and had a cell phone. I did not like it, but I was like, I can't have this tension because I don't want to have a kid that's grown up, that's going to grow up and be messed up, right?
Yeah.
I never met the chick. I never met the chick. And I'm saying chick, but she actually became his wife, right? Never met her, never spoke to her. This is how they was rolling. They was rolling crazy. I'll just say that. I'm gonna do it nicely, right? They was rolling crazy. But you know what I said to myself? I said my prayers and I said to myself, listen, he got a cell phone. I know he gonna eat. I know he gonna be clean. I know he gonna come home safe, and I'ma just let it go. Do I think they was dead wrong? 100%. 100%. But you know what? Because I said somebody got to bow out and be the bigger person for my kid. And since I'm the mother, that's what I'm going to do. But I said to myself, I said, as a woman who's getting with this man, for you to even allow this to go down, to me, it spoke volumes about her.
Sure. Yes.
Like,
Exactly.
why would you even allow your man to do that? I would have been like, if it was me and it was my man that I was getting with, I would have been like, I'm not even going to be with your ex's child without speaking to his mother. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. I would have told him, listen, we got to make this right and do this thing the right way. I don't care if you saying that girl is a crack-headed hoe on the corner selling
That's
her
still
body.
that child's mother.
That's still that child's mother, and I need to meet her. So it was like, but I had to tell myself, you know what? I was, I always believe in church. I always prayed or whatever. But honey, I could have probably reached out my hand and touched God during that time period because I stayed in prayer. Because I'm telling you, I had to let go of so much that I wanted to say and do for the greater good of my kid. And so my thing is, when a woman or even a man, when you get with somebody and they already have kids, you got a whole another level of stuff you got to think about before you come and get with that person. Do you understand what I mean? And I love those families. I commend those families that you see them. They got the t-shirts on. It's like, we're team this kid. They act the kids' football game together. They act the kids' graduation together, and everybody is civil. You want to listen. You want to move on, move on. But what you can't do is you can't move on and leave dead bodies behind. And when I mean dead bodies, you can't move on and you over there crushing that other situation because it's gonna boomerang back to you. You can't do dirt and put out nastiness and expect goodness to come back to you. It was a mess, but God, thank God I got through it. And I lived through it. But at some point when you're in a contentious situation, somebody has to bow out and say, you know what? I'm going to back down in the name of the kid.
I agree, Dee.
Well, and that's just like the story in the Bible. Like, the real mother didn't want to split the baby.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to split his piece. So you decided just to not split the baby and just suck it up. Just, hey, if I got to deal with this crazy lady having some access to it, then that's what we'll do, because we're not cutting the baby.
Right.
And can I just give you guys an example? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Luke Play, but he plays on P Valley and he was on the OWN show, something about the rich. I can't think of the show, but he plays the bodyguard in P Valley, and he has a new baby's mom, and she made a post like, I'm so tired from running her own business. I got kids to take care of. And his first baby mom comes out like, I don't like this and this and that. Like, I'd rather her say she recognizes her relationship to the point where she's like, okay, he's got kids, these are kids too. That's what you do when you blend a relationship. She's upset just because she said kids. She didn't mention the kids by name or anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, come on, really? You're really upset because she said kids?
Right.
I mean, she could have said a million other horrible things. She just said kids.
She could have said Bebe's kids.
Exactly. Like, you only met them this many amount of times and you're calling them kids. But if I'm in a relationship with a man that has children, right, and we're that in depth and we're building to that point, and I'm gonna include his kids with my kids. You know what I'm saying? No one's gonna be treated any different because that's who I'm in relation with.
100%, right? 100. Let me tell you, I have a girlfriend that before she had any children, she dated this man. I can't remember exactly how many children he had, right? But she told him, because at the time he wasn't really seeing his kids like that. He wasn't really giving the mother any money. And she was pretty much like, I'm not going to deal with you until you get yourself together back with your children. And that summer, not only that, her and even though she's no longer with that man, her and the mother are so close, okay? And she spoke to the mother, and the youngest son came and stayed with them that summer. And I promise you, when she took him to the camp, they swore that she was his mother.
Wow. That's beautiful. And that's beautiful. That's exactly the scenario I want with my new situation. I want us to be able to be cohesive for the sake of the child. I mean, he's so young. We can mold him to be something great if we come together.
Absolutely.
And that's all I want. And I'll just pray for that, Diva. But at this point, like now, like we got to get like the courts involved.
We got to keep praying because maybe eventually she will come around. Right now, she's still in her feelings. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Bonus parents are great. They can be really good for the kids. Bonus parents are really good. You know, they can be really helpful to the kids. And a 2-year-old is perfect.
I think it's a
yes.
And Sin, this is coming from a person. Look, when I started getting out here in the dating, I'm like, I'm not dating no one with kids. I had all these rules, right? And then I met this great guy, right? And he treats me really, really well, right? So he was like, I have a young son and this and that or whatever. But you know what? I think God was in me and was like, just give him a chance. Just give him a chance.
You never know.
And
right?
It's not like he has like a bunch of kids. Like he has one other child that is grown that he raised. You know what I'm saying? And then now he has his last son. So it's not like he's this irresponsible with his seed. A circumstance happened, right? And so and it really changed me, like, because I was really dead set, like, I'm not dating nobody with no kid. I ain't trying to be no stepmama.
And sometimes exactly what we say no to is what we end up with. The Adrian, you know what? That's the decision you got to make, right? Let go of the anger. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And I did too, because I also had a situation for whatever reason, and I'll never understand this, is they felt that they went on this smear campaign and it just was like smear my name. And I even asked them, I said,
what?
Well, yeah.
What,
girl? I've been.
You must have been held. You were held in the streets.
Listen.
Diva's classy.
And you know what I told the person straight up, like, yo, what's your point? Like, what's your point? Like, where is this going to get you? Okay, so it's over. You left. You claim to be so happy with this other person. Y'all getting married. Why you gotta smear my name?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Not really happy.
Right. Like, what's your point? So it's like, you know, some people, I think it's a matter of like they done with you, but they almost want to see you not have nothing, and they want to leave you. They want the truck to run over you on the road.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my
like
goodness.
But
it's
not realizing if that's your child's
right,
father, right?
right.
What happens to him happens to you.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
Child,
That's right. That's right.
child, I'm trying to tell you, like, why would you want that? I think that people got to learn how to break up better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's hurtful, but it's not that deep. You
It's
can
not the end of the world.
recover. Right, it's not the end of the world. You can recover, and you actually can be cordial for the children. Do you know what I mean? It can be a recovery moment. You can be cordial for the children, but I mean, you know, been there, done that, and you know, survived it. And it is, but it is a lot, because when you're actually in it, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
good God, when is my break gonna come?
Right.
But do
Um,
you agree? It helped me grow. It helped
Yes.
me grow as a woman.
it helped me grow a lot, right? And I kind of was like you in a sense too, like, nah, I ain't dealing with this, that. But I'm open to a certain degree, because you know, I just learned a lot. And now for me, when I see the red flags, now I'm not gonna lie, because you know, when as you grow, you gotta, you know, hopefully you gain some knowledge, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I have ran through the stop sign, then God put up the yield sign, and I ignored it. Okay, girl, bye. But now, no, I see one red flag, and I'm like, I'm done.
I'm out. See, but
See
I'm
you later.
out.
And the
This
red
Deuces.
turned
flags
into a
come early for
lifetime
me.
of things, right? And I'm at the point in life where I just want to live, right? I'm just coming full circle as a woman and stuff like that. And I'm just very protective of my energy and who I invite and allow. And it took for me to be still, to figure
Yeah,
me out, to be clear on that. And
yeah,
Yeah. A lot of
it's,
people don't
go
give
ahead. I'm sorry.
a lot of people don't give their self that time to be still after a relationship. They want to
Mm-hmm.
jump right into it, or they want to be bitter and give this man a hard time while they should be healing. You know,
yeah,
it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
that they could be doing with their time. You should be healing and healing your child, because he's going through something now too.
yes.
You're not alone,
Exactly. They have
because
to go
trust
through
and
that
believe.
division.
My
They go
kids
through the breakup with
never
them.
saw me cry, but I cried, child. I cried. I was like, what have I done?
Hugging
What
the
have I
pillow, cried,
done?
okay? Hugging
Woo!
the pillow, weeping, okay? Like, let me
Yes,
let it all out now before the kids get up.
Once they
yes,
went to
yes,
sleep, I'm cleaning. I got L Green going. The tears are flowing. Baby, I gotta get these bottles made. I gotta do laundry. I gotta cook. I gotta deal with this man I know gonna call me in a little while, vex my nerves. But when they came out with cell phones, I no longer have to answer my phone anymore. When I heard the phone ring, I see his number. I'm like, your dad calling. Somebody pick up the phone.
I know that.
Daddy's calling.
Oh my God.
Daddy's calling. But I told him Daddy's
That's
Cell
always
amazing.
gonna be
phones,
a
and
phone
see,
call
cell
away.
phones, that's the good thing about cell phones now.
Oh no, back then it was pagers.
Mm-hmm.
Remember
Mm-hmm.
sending
But
love
listen, I
notes on
remember
a pager?
pages. Go ahead, Curse. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, remember sending love notes on a pager? Like the
Yes,
Yeah.
like one,
All
No,
two,
the
I
codes.
three, all those things we would do. Yep.
I never
yes,
Yes.
did that.
yes. So I think the message of today is pretty much that, you know, the adults really have to learn how to be cordial and do the right thing for the kids. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what
Patience,
you went through,
patience.
yes, yes, right. No matter what you went through as adults, if the relationship is over, it's over. But
Mm-hmm.
think about the kids, think about their well-being, think about their health. Think about what's right for them, no matter how you feel about your ex-spouse, right? And
Mm-hmm.
know that, you know, there's somebody out there for everybody. It didn't work with y'all two, but you can get with somebody else, and it may be the best thing ever, and it can still work out. But
Mm-hmm.
still, don't fight the kids, okay?
Right.
This too shall pass.
Yes, this too,
Oh,
you know
amen.
what? This
That's
too
my
shall
mom's favorite
pass.
saying. That's my
But you
mom's
know what,
favorite
Sin?
saying.
I think you made a good point. You do need time to heal.
You do.
Because if you do not heal, that same nonsense that you had in that other relationship is
We
going to show up in your new relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
you
think,
got to take time to figure out, you know what part could I have changed in this situation? How can I better myself for the next situation? And am I loving myself enough
Exactly.
so that when I go connect with somebody, I'm
That
not
you
looking for them
recognize.
to fill me up.
Right.
I'm
or
already filled.
complete you,
Yes,
Right.
there you go.
Amen. Amen, Diva.
Yeah.
Well
or
said.
complete you.
Yep.
And
Well
I
then
need
said.
plus,
someone to complete you. I'm
plus
coming to you completed, and I need you to
Yes,
be
Yes.
completed.
yes,
and plus,
yes,
like, if
amen.
we're not loving
Right.
ourselves, then we can't even really recognize it, y'all. You can't even recognize what you don't know. And if you're not
Right.
loving
Mm-hmm.
yourself, which is your first primary relationship, if you're not loving you, then you can't even recognize it in another, and you can't expect it unless you want to expect what you already have, which is non-love, and that's what you're going to get. So just love yourself, you guys, and it'll translate, all
Yeah,
the
and
way to
But
require people to
you
love
have
and
to know what
respect
it
you
feels
back.
like. You have to know what it feels like, though. You have to know what it feels like. And if you weren't given that as a child, then you have
Mm-hmm.
to make a decision to learn to love yourself, to
yeah,
learn to be alone. People don't know what it's
Mm-hmm.
like to be when you're alone. I'm alone a lot, but I'm never lonely.
right,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can be alone
Mm,
and never be
right,
lonely.
And to that point,
mm.
I'm my own
That's
best
good
friend. Let
right
me tell
there.
y'all, ladies, I can go out and have the best time with myself. I don't need nobody to go out with me. Actually, I think it's more work to go out with other people. Okay,
It
like if you
is.
got to
It is.
deal with everybody's personalities, I will go out by myself and I will have a blast. And even if it's just me going to a movie and having a bucket of popcorn, it's the simple things in life that really fulfill me now and fill
Mhm.
me up, Diva.
right.
It's
That's
the
good.
simple things.
Crazy K, thank you for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. So let me tell you something. I think the pandemic, as many people as it might have devastated, it helped a lot of people, and it helped the world, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it gave us time to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
It was a definite time of reflection.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely know how to, even though, you know what, I was fortunate, like it was me and my son here, and like what I did every day, because see, I'm not a news watcher. I stopped watching the news like that a long time ago,
Yeah,
Baby,
for
you have
many
to.
different reasons, right?
It causes
Because
depression.
yes, it is, and that's
it
all you
does.
ever going to see on the news is something bad. And one person told me, one therapist told me, they was like, you can't do nothing about 99.9% of the stuff you see on the news, but they say, but you're going to get all depressed, and why? So stop watching it, right? So I don't watch it as much. I do watch it every now and then, but I don't watch it as much as I used to. I used to faithfully watch it in the morning and faithfully watch like the evening news, right? But it's all bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, during that time, my son, he kept watching, oh, this many people have gone, this is happening, that's happening. I told him, I said, don't come down here and tell me all that stuff. I said, I don't watch it. So what I did every day, because I was still working, I was working from home. Every single day when I finished working, I told him, get ready, get dressed. And we went on a scavenger hunt. We would go find in the morning and sometimes in the evening, we would go find which Starbucks was open, because all of them was not open during the pandemic.
Mm.
Right.
I told my son, Google. One time we drove 30 minutes, one time we drove an hour. But I was really doing that with him and taking him out every day just so he doesn't feel like it was anything abnormal, like we wasn't totally stuck in the house like
Mm.
that whole time. So every single day we went out, and every single day I walked outside in the morning, like for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel like I was confined, but I did gain some time back, and I got to know myself even better as
Mm.
a result of us being on lockdown. So it
Mm.
did a lot of good things for me. Yes, really got
Yeah,
back to the
it did.
basics. Yeah,
Yes, the
it,
basics.
yeah,
I
it
started
really did.
gardening. I started doing art. Like it just opened up so much creativity in
Yes.
me and my children. And I was able to sell art through the pandemic.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
me and my
That's
amazing.
kids.
beautiful.
We were just sitting in here creating because one thing we do recognize, me and my girls, our gifts are in our hands.
All right.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. That's
Use them
beautiful.
hands, honey.
So
Use
we're
them
gonna
hands.
we're gonna transition really quickly, guys. I think this was a great conversation. Thank you for joining me for trending topics on Friday. But we're gonna transition in our closeout. So our closeout is because this is based on relationships, right? When you're talking child support. So our closeout is going to be, and I'm gonna go around to everybody. You kind of answer it is that you're together, you have a spouse. Do they know about every single dime that you make? And if you're getting a bonus on your job, are you sharing that bonus? Are they going to know about that bonus? And will they know about every single time you get a raise? I start with you, Curves. Are you sharing your bonus? Are they going to know about every single dime? And are you telling about every single raise that you get?
Yeah, me and husband, he knows all the passwords. I know all his passwords. We know where everything's hidden. We know where all the bodies are. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason for me to not trust him with that information. Like we were saying another time, like you're trusting your body to that person. Like
Yes.
so I'm trusting also my finances with him. We've been married 15 years, together 26. And so I'm all in. Like, yeah, of course. And I don't have any issue with it. None. None. He can go in my wallet, take my last dollar. I don't care. That's my husband. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Go in his wallet, take his card. He don't care. He knows where I live. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? There's nothing to hide over here. And that's the way we like it, you know?
That
I
is
agree.
beautiful.
I
That
mean,
is beautiful.
I always believe, my grandmother always taught me to have that nest egg on the side for myself because, like, you just never know what's gonna happen. When it comes to marriage and my husband, I feel like I should be completely honest and open. But I would tell him, like, look, I got a little nest egg for myself just in case of emergency or, for the little things that I want to save up for myself. I will be open about that. But if you're not my husband, you're not gonna know about all my pennies. You my husband, I'll be more open.
Oh, awesome. Thanks.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna tell you about everything. I'll tell you about most.
We going no. Listen, Nani. When it's not your husband, you got to. It's a as need to know basis. You ain't gonna be yeah.
Exactly.
When you need to know, I'll tell you the information. But if you don't need to know, we ain't doing that right now. Now, when
No,
you become my mate, when you say I do and we got that certificate, then we can talk a whole nother ball game. But
right,
until then, it's a as needed to know basis. Yes.
Exactly,
right.
Diva. And
Because
see,
Okay.
that's where I think a lot of these young ladies these days have it messed up because they're trying to have proxy marriages without actually having an actual marriage.
I
yeah,
agree.
They trying to pretend like it's a
Right.
marriage instead of actually doing the real thing.
Work.
They
right,
want all the motions of the marriage, but they
Right.
don't want the actual responsibility
right,
that comes with the contract of marriage. Okay. And
right.
that's why I
Right.
feel like a lot of the young people they play too
Like,
much. And when they
exactly.
all with a bunch of kids with all different daddies, you
Because you were playing too
know what
much.
I'm saying?
You were playing too much. But you know, Miss
They playing with it.
Cynthia.
is only
Okay, great
7.
accent. All right. So yeah, I do agree with you, right? But it all depends on the dynamics of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it too, like we can go so far with this, but maybe we'll do it on our next trending topics because there's some people where they don't work, and then there's a demise of the relationship, and then that spouse doesn't want to give them anything. And I think that's so unfair. It's like if you told your spouse, whether it be the man or the female, if you told them to stay home, watch the kids, do this, and now there's a demise of the relationship, it's unfair for you not to give them what's due to them because they stayed home all of those years. Like, don't leave that person destitute because it's not right. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Send you back in the building. What's your closeout? Are we telling about all of our funds, the raises, our bonuses? Is everything shared 50-50?
My husband knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything except you gotta keep something for yourself. A girl gotta keep something for herself. That nest
I'm just
egg,
saying.
that nest egg is
Yeah.
private and it's personal and it's mine. And if
I'll
you're
let you know I
smart,
have it, but it's mine.
and he has his, okay?
Okay?
Well,
What's
okay,
ours
so
is
then
ours.
you saying we're gonna have a
Hi,
joint
everyone.
account,
Yes,
and we're gonna have our own separate personal accounts, and the personal
correct.
account is our business.
That's
Yep.
correct. That's
I
correct. Do
got
you
you.
know
I ain't
about the
mad at
bonus,
that.
sis?
Hi,
I have
everyone.
total
How are you
trust.
guys?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey,
Total
Sebastian.
trust.
Okay, Sebastian, give me 1 second. Adrian said, if I had to give advice, please be present when you have your children. Yes. Try to make drop off and pick up undramatic as possible. Adrian, I agree. And
Mm-hmm.
try real hard to be a united front as much as possible. Adrian, that is the best advice you can ever give when somebody has to co-parent. And it's a demise of the relationship. I agree with you 100%. I love that advice. Wholeheartedly. Sebastian, you came in the bill. Oh, we said private. Yes, you gotta have your little private stash, honey, just in case. You never know.
All
You
the women in
never
my
know.
family always had a little sock with a safety pin that they tucked away and they, I'm just saying.
It may just come in handy. You never know.
My
Sebastian,
mother's.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Sebastian.
Sebastian, go ahead. You're in the building.
Yes, I'm in the building. Ask me questions and I'll respond.
Ah,
Hey,
we're
Sebastian.
actually, Sebastian, closing out, but our whole conversation was about child support and pretty much that if there's a demise in a relationship, the number one priority should be the children and not each individual personal feelings and their personal gain.
Okay, I want to give my opinion on that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. So, if everything's going to be in the personal of the child, I do not think child support has to necessarily be financial compensation. And I do not believe in that. I know the chat's going to hate me. I do not believe in the aspect of alimony. Okay? No alimony. That's
Wait,
how
you
it
did the same
works.
thing.
We're putting this for the child. That's what we're doing.
Disconnect, Diva.
Alimony,
Disconnect,
don't
Diva.
I
go.
know.
We're putting it for
Drop.
the child. We're putting
I'm
it for the
dropping the
child. There
ball.
is no alimony. What
Okay,
you
so
need, you need to get the kid clothes. You need to get him food. You need to get him toys, and you need to be there emotionally, physically present. That's what you need to do. That's what child support is. Child support is not green banks. No, that's not what child support is. I'm sorry.
I
Do
mean,
you
but
see? Do you
in
see
all aspects,
Sebastian?
Sebastian,
Wait,
the
I'm gonna let you speak,
alimony
Nadi.
depends.
Sebastian, do you see Leslie's comment? So, Sebastian, here's the thing, right?
I have a
You
friend who's
know,
going through the situation, and he's broken. So that's why I'm vouching.
you said so you here on behalf of your friend. You said your friend is going through the situation and he's
He
broken.
should have called in. Tell him to listen to the replay. Tell him to listen to the replay, friend.
Yes, and I'm
There's a lot
tired
in
of
there.
this nonsense that just because y'all were together that we have to pay. You have to pay anyone has to pay anyone. No, we're putting the money for the child. If I was a legal jurist, someone who makes laws in this country, first of all, child support would never be going to the mother. It would be going to a trust and have a guardian who's in charge of said trust and the funds
Oh
in said
my
trust
God.
to make sure that everything is done in the interest of the said child. That's how I
Isn't
would
God
done
good?
everything.
Sebastian is on
Isn't God
fire.
That's
good?
how. If
I
I was a
think
legal
it's supposed to be the
jurist,
child support department.
Sebastian, is that trust going to feed said child? Is that
listen,
trust putting a no,
listen,
listen, Sebastian? Is that trust putting a piece of chicken on the table at night? Is that
listen.
trust getting that kid to school every day? Is that
Mm-hmm.
trust paying for aftercare? Is
Oh,
that
okay,
trust
okay.
paying the
I'm
copay at the
let me
doctor's
finish.
office?
Let me
No,
finish.
no,
Let
no.
me
Hold
finish.
on, Sebastian. I'm not going through no third party to pay the $25 copay when my kid gets sick
Well,
at the doctor's office.
listen.
No,
Said
I'm going to use
expenses
my
will be
debit
covered.
card. Hold
Said
on,
expense.
Sebastian.
No, 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 no. You
Sebastian.
don't get to use your debit card. The
No,
child is gonna have his own
get out of
account,
here.
and his debit card will be used. It's not gonna be the woman or the man who uses the card. This is for the child, not for them. Why? Why you want to get a haircut? You want to get nails done or something? No, this is for the child. The child who we're
Well,
trying to
Sebastian,
Sebastian.
provide better
look,
for.
I've been a single mother, and I'm a mom. Like whatever I have, my kids have. That's how I operate. My
Point
husband,
blank,
my kids.
period.
That's good.
Point blank,
That's
period.
very
My
great.
kids represent me. They're gonna look on the same level as me at all times. Unfortunately, there's mothers out here that all they care about is getting their hair done, and look in the flyers for the next dude. Okay,
And I
it's not
commend you for
about the
that.
child.
I commend you for being a single mother and being there for your children and making sure they're doing great. Because right now, I feel like single mothers are like the strongest people on this planet. I will commend everyone I see.
I appreciate you, Sebastian, for that.
But I will
So,
agree with
so wait,
Sebastian
hold
when
on.
he says
Sin,
trust.
I'm gonna let you speak. 1 second. Sebastian, can you read Robin's comment?
I'm gonna read and answer. What about the child's everyday needs? Well, said account would work for the child's everyday needs, not the mama, not the daddy. That's how it would work. The child want ice cream from the ice cream truck. Well, then the money from that account will go to the man at the ice cream truck. Or I'll set up a subscription with the man to make sure any child has that right every weekend or whatever when they want ice cream. I'll set up a subscription, a monthly subscription with the ice cream truck driver that he will ensure that the child
So the
gets
parent
the
can't
ice
be
cream.
trusted. The custodial parent, the parent that's with this kid 100% of the time, they can't be trusted.
Listen,
Everything's going to be monitored. Get out of here, Sebastian.
no,
And
Yeah,
guess what? No,
Sebastian.
no,
And
Sebastian,
Sebastian,
listen to this. Listen to this, Sebastian. And if I get married and there's a demise in the relationship, give me my alimony.
no. There's no alimony, okay? Okay, you're not gonna have alimony and have another man or woman in the relationship just being the side piece right there. No,
What
Miss
I tell you, Diva? What I
Miss
tell you?
Robin,
say
What I
like
tell
you
you?
was.
What I tell you? That's how they think.
Say
Miss
like
That's
Robin.
you
exactly how they
was.
think.
No, I
But
wasn't.
Sebastian, in all defense, can I tell you, like, because I have one younger child. She's 17, and I still receive child support. And when I get those payments, I give her half. I give her half of the payment so she can have money in her pocket to do what she wants to do with her little friends and stuff. And
And
I
I
keep the
commend you
other
for
half.
that. I commend you for that because a lot of people don't do that.
No, I give my child half.
I
Well,
commend you for that. That is
Sebastian, because
100% legit.
Sebastian, maybe they can't do that. Okay.
Well,
What if
listen,
their
if you
child?
can't do
No,
that, you find a
no,
job
Sebastian,
because the money's for the
Sebastian. What
child.
if their child
Sebastian.
goes to a Catholic school? What if their child expenses is way above and beyond that
Okay,
payment
the
that they're
child's to go to a
getting?
Catholic school. Well, then you need to go to the judge and make sure the father or mother pays for that Catholic school by themselves. They pay for that Catholic school, and it does not have to go through child. The expense for the school doesn't have to go through child support. It goes from the father or mother to the school. That's how it
Sebastian, I
works.
ain't playing with you right now.
I know y'all were gonna
I
hate me
love
today, but I'm
Sebastian though. He
sorry.
loves to shake it
Today
up.
I am
Sebastian loves to shake
today
it up.
I'm defending a friend of mine who's going through the same situation with this heifer who thinks that it's okay. Yes, who thinks that it's okay. Who
He
thinks
said
that
this pepper.
who thinks it's okay to like try to rob this man blank, and I'm like, no.
What?
And yes, this man is
Can
completely,
I,
he's
Sebastian? So
blind for this woman.
Sebastian,
He's
he,
blind for
he
this
didn't know.
woman.
He didn't hear about condoms. He didn't know what condoms were.
Well, listen, they were in a committed relationship. That's the situation. They were in a
You
committed
could be in a
relationship.
committed relationship. Was
Listen,
he married though?
they were engaged. They were
Well,
engaged.
They weren't married.
Did she keep the ring?
Ah! Shots fired.
That's currently in legal proceeds right now.
Oh, yeah.
Sebastian said, "Talk to my lawyer."
Not me. It's a friend of mine. But like,
I know.
obviously, I don't like the concept how it's done, how it
Yeah.
should be done. I personally think
you and your you know what, Sebastian? You and your friend, you're bitter right now, and you're angry
no. He
together.
actually has
And
no
that's
problem. I'm the one who's waking up his eyes because he's a nonchalant
oh,
person.
so you're
And
poisoning him.
no,
You're
I'm
poisoning
poisoning
him.
him. That heifer bit him with something and instilled something bad into him because he's very blind for, and he still loves this woman. I'm like, she don't love you. She just likes your cow. That's it. Like, he's so blind and is just giving
Love
her
is
everything.
You gotta
blind.
help your
And
friends
I'm just like,
Sebastian.
you need to
Save
stop.
him.
Like, you need to
Save him,
stop. It's
Sebastian.
sad.
So, Sebastian, let that man take care of his kid. You
No,
are poisoning him. And see, there's always a friend like you in the person's ear trying to stop them from doing the right thing.
No,
He's
he's
trying
not
to
doing the
do
right
the right
thing.
thing, and you being bitter like it's you.
He's not
Well, I
doing the right
kind of
thing.
agree with Sebastian, just that child support can mean more than just monetary. Like that's
Mhm.
the problem with the whole Nick Cannon thing. Like I love he's spreading his seed. Go forth and multiply. I don't care. But what quality are you teaching them? What like you're are you showing
Mhm.
Exactly.
his
Yeah.
mom? Are you showing all these moms just how to be single ladies?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
No
Are you
family
instilling the baby?
foundation.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like,
No
so I feel
structure.
like there is,
No, I do. You know what though? I agree with that too. But the whole thing is 9 times out of 10, when not, and you know what, we know there are some women out there that they're just dead wrong, right? But nine
Mm-hmm.
times out of 10, a lot of women who end up going is after they done begged, pleaded, and tried to do it another way.
Mm-hmm.
And the person made agreements with them, like, no, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And here it is, weeks, months, and some of them is years later, and the man is not doing the right thing. And the only thing that wakes them up to doing the right thing is you walking down in that courthouse and the judge hitting the gavel saying, no, this is what you got to do. And then all of a sudden they want to wake up and be like, oh, okay, why did you do that? Why did you go there? Because you wasn't doing the right thing.
right.
I'm not going to sit here and beg you to do the right thing.
That's
And listen, if you are not, if you're going to be present for your kid, no child support, no nothing. Even if the woman takes you down there and hit the gavel, if you're going to be present for your kid and do right by your kid, you're going to do right by your kid regardless.
I
I know
agree.
somebody else who pays child support, but they still do a whole bunch of things outside
Mm-hmm.
of that child support for their child. There are some people who literally they may have to pay $40 a month and they won't give that child another dime outside of that
Mm-hmm.
$40 because they feel like, oh, I'm paying child support. So listen, at the end of the day, if it is in you to do the right thing, no one would ever have to make you do the right thing. But if it's not in you to do the right thing, then I'm sorry. We got to go to the judge. He
Or
got to hit the gavel
period.
and make you do the right thing. Now, Sebastian, as for you and your friend that you so in an uproar about and emotional about, you are poisoning,
I'm not poisoning
poisoning your
him.
friend
Listen, the
with your
heifer poisoned
emotions.
him.
Go
The
ahead.
heifer
Deep.
poisoned him. I don't know how. As I said it, I've said it multiple times on multiple channels. I may get canceled for it. Women can get away with a lot more than men. They're way more They're way more intelligent. They're
Oh,
way more
Sebastian.
intelligent than a man. I'm gonna say a woman is way more intelligent than a man, and she can get
Facts.
away with a lot more. So I don't know what she did to this man. I don't know what she did to him,
Wait,
but
Diva,
he's
can I
completely
challenge
blind.
Sebastian? Can I
Completely
challenge
blind.
Sebastian?
I got my hand
Okay,
up
and
already.
Okay, you
I
can.
have
Hold on 1 second. Adrian, you're saying sorry. He's kind of right. I took $200 for the household rest
Oh,
went to my girl's bank account. But here's the thing, Adrian, you got that much.
mm-hmm.
There are some people that literally are only getting $400 a week. Add that up for the month.
Oh,
So
yeah,
what are they
pretty much.
thinking to put in what bank account? And
I
then you got some of those people that they don't even make that much themselves.
mm-hmm.
So it's great if you get that much that you could do it. So if you're saying you got $200, I'm guessing that you took for the household, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. What is that? $1,000 a month, right? It's 2, 4, 6, 8, right? Am I counting right? So no, I'm gonna say eight
No,
hundred
that's eight.
dollars. That's
Mm-hmm.
eight
Right.
hundred dollars. So that means you was getting more than $800 a month. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that ain't everybody's story. Some people
It's
are
not.
literally getting $40. Some people are getting
Mm-hmm.
30. Some
some
people
are.
are
Mm-hmm.
getting 60. And that is
Mm-hmm.
not even enough to feed their kids every week
Mm-hmm.
and pay for the daycare and pay for co-pays. Let me tell you, when my son got braces, them braces was $6,000.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am.
Okay. And let me tell you this. And then when you lose the retainer, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
pay another 200 or something dollars to get that
Each.
retainer replaced or whatever. Then
Each.
if
Mm-hmm.
you got co-pays, you got this. Then the school, every time school turn around, they need this book, that book, whatever. So if you're getting a whole bunch of money, you can make different decisions. But if your check is only 60 and $40 a week, what you doing with that?
Nothing, Diva. You can't do nothing with that, especially in this day and age with inflation and everything. I mean, twenty
Money lost
dollars
its
may buy
value.
toilet paper for the month with
Sebastian, I'm gonna
me,
need you to be
okay?
quiet.
Money
But
lost its value. I'm not
but I
lying.
just want to challenge you, Sebastian, seriously. Like on the flip side, and I'm gonna say allegedly, what if you have, say, like a Jay-Z who has kids out here claiming that they're his father, and he has paid the court
Ooh,
system to deflect and get away from that paternity test so he don't have to pay. And I'm gonna leave you with that. Boom,
Ooh, that sounds
shots
good.
fired.
well, listen. If I,
Mic drop, mic
if I
drop.
was a legal jurist, all of this nonsense would have stopped immediately. All of this nonsense of like trying to bypass a paternity test that would have stopped. If I was a legal jurist, first of all, I would think a paternity test is necessary once the birth certificate, the name of the father's on it. A paternity test should be done at that same exact moment.
What?
All right. All
Yes.
right.
No,
Once
but
you,
I
Okay,
mean,
hold
but
on one second,
I mean, the
Sebastian. I
mom
gotta go
tried
to
to
Smoke.
seek him
Hold on
out,
one
and
second. Hold on one second.
I'm gonna
Smoke,
be
you in the
dragged. It's
building.
okay.
What do you want to add to the conversation, Smoke? Because
Oh
Sebastian is
boy.
definitely
Oh
smoking
Lord,
something.
smoking
Go
gonna
ahead.
come
Go
for
ahead,
me.
Smoke. Smoke, can you hear me?
Smoke.
He gonna drag me today. Oh Lord.
I hope
Can you hear me
so.
now?
is
Yes,
that
we
the
can hear you.
boy?
Come on,
No,
Smoke.
that's
Come
me.
on,
It's
Smoke.
Mo.
Oh, hey,
Oh
Mo.
Lord. Oh, hi, smoke.
Hey,
Go
Hi.
ahead, Smoke.
Hi,
We need you,
Sebastian.
Smoke.
I hear you're talking a lot of stuff. I just have one question. Is this like your DL lover that you're covering for? You doing too much for somebody to say that's your friend.
No, he's my friend. The thing is, he's done a lot for me. He saved my life
I bet he
personally.
did. I bet he did a
No,
lot.
You trying to
no, as a
save
That's
him
not
child,
good, Bob.
now?
no, as a child, he saved my life because like I didn't know how to swim at a certain time and I almost drowned and died. And like he saved my life ever since that moment. He's everything to me.
But
Everything.
you're
Sebastian,
ruining
I
his
that's
get
what
it.
you get in most
relationship.
You
rom-coms.
you trying to save his bank account right now, but
No,
he
trying to,
got to pay
Exactly.
he
for the
saved
kid
my
that he
life. I'm trying to
made.
save his bank.
No,
Listen,
you.
he did make the child. He actually is in the child's life. I'm not saying he's not in the child's life. He's in the child's life every day. He's the one who takes the child to school and brings them back. Because the mother is, I don't, God knows, doing what heifers do. Um,
Whoa.
Don't be disrespectful.
she is
Sebastian.
horrible. That is the
No.
devil
Your friend,
reincarnated.
and you know what you're saying
You are
about your friend. You know what you're saying
overstepping your
about your friend.
bounds
You're
as
saying
a
your friend is
friend.
horrible.
She
You
did
are
something to
no,
him.
no,
She
no, no,
did
no, no,
something
no.
to
It
him.
doesn't matter
He's
what she
completely
did to him. That's
blind.
between him and her and their child. You
I
are way
agree.
out of pocket and way out of line.
Thank
Because
you.
Listen,
let's
the
say he
main
goes,
reason why they all fell out is because she cheated, which is one of the main reasons why because he lets everyone walk over him. He's a very calm and
Okay, so
laid back
Sebastian,
Including
person.
hold
you.
on.
that.
Sebastian, hold on one second. Smoke, go ahead and say what you got to say.
Oh Lord.
My thing is you are getting involved in in a potential family and how they're going to structure and how they're going to work. Now, let's say your friend goes and lays down with this girl again and they have another child. That's their decision and their choices as adults. So you could be a
I
supportive friend, be
agree.
like,
That's their decision. But
right, but
I make sure I tell him that he needs to distance himself from her, but always be around his child because she has something that's on her that I don't know what it is, but he keeps
but
on.
Sebastian, that's not your place. It's not your place
I
between
well,
this man and this woman.
I'm saving him because this woman
Saving
has
him from
destroyed
what? He
his
already
life.
slept with her
This
and
man,
they have a child. You ain't
this
doing much more saving
she's
than
brought
he's
this guy to court
doing.
multiple times.
Hold
She
on,
brought
hold
this
on,
guy to
Sebastian.
court.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Sebastian Crazy K says, stay out of grown folk business. You got to sit
amen.
down and calm down because you out of line and out of pocket.
Let's do that for Nick Cannon too. Stay, whatever.
Nick Cannon is
Crazy
a
can.
different story. Like Nick
Yeah.
Cannon is spreading his seed, but your friend has one child with this girl. So as best as a friend, if they like it, you gonna love it. And
Yes.
They're not together anymore, but she's just very controlling to him, and I don't like that. She
he has
demeans
to do the
him.
work for
But
that.
you
He
have to
gained.
exactly.
But
He has
And
to do the work
Sebastian, I'm
to
in a
control that.
situation where I'm dating someone and he's going through the parental alienation of things. Like she's jealous because he's moved on with his life, and
that's the same exact situation that has
she's
happened
trying
with
to
my
use
friend's
the
kid.
child as a pawn. But you know what? We're making a record and we're preparing our case, Sebastian. We want to take it to the judge and let him put the gavel down. And that's the best means. Like for me to get involved, it's just gonna add fuel to the fire. Only thing I can do is support him emotionally in that moment. And help him not let his emotions get the best of him because it's his
Exactly.
baby. You know what I mean? So like sometimes he
Exactly.
be driving him to the point like, and I just let him go off, and I'm like, okay, babe, let's look at this rationally now, okay? Because it's about the baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget her. She's gonna be goofy nonstop.
Exactly.
But the best thing for him to do is get the courts on his side so he can take his power back. You know what I mean? Because once
Exactly.
a judge is involved, how much can she say to him about his son? We have a court order, and at that point, when they have that court order, if she doesn't abide by that order, he can call the law and go get his kid. Whether she,
I
you know,
agree.
And vice versa.
mm-hmm,
And vice
and vice
versa.
versa.
And that's another thing I want to. You brought up a great point. About this is just the child. It's about the child.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mhm.
people keep thinking children are investments First of all, let me tell you, children are beings that we choose to bring into this world. They do not owe you. They are not investments. They're just life that we chose. We owe them everything if we ever
Yep.
have children. That's it. They do not owe you.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear your passion, Sebastian. I hear
And
your point, and
the thing is,
it's a great thing that you're trying to be there for your friend. And I just want to advise
of course, because he suffers with alcoholism as well, and that's another situation. This is something that he's sober. He's been sober for years, but this is something that is almost dragging him on the verge of going back into that deep space.
So are you a common soundboard, or are you belligerent like this when you talk to him?
No, listen. I get belligerent when I hear he starts saying, "Well, if I get back together with her," I'm like, "No." That's when I get belligerent.
But that's
I'm
not
like,
your
no.
decision. That's not your choice. You don't. That man's heart is
You know what
his
you
heart.
should
You
say
don't know the
next time he
relationship
says
that.
it,
I'm
Sebastian?
saving this man. I'm saving him from a bad downfall.
You can't
For
save
who? Who are
him.
you saving him for? For you?
Let's tell
Who
him
you
to do
saving him
it.
for? His
Next
child
time he
needs
does
him.
Sebastian trying to be Jesus. Come on, Sebastian.
His child needs him, not the
That's what I
heifer needs
said.
him.
His
His
child
child,
needs
not the
him.
heifer.
But
And so
Sebastian, the child needs
you
both
need
of
to
his
be
parents to be
nurturing that relationship
cohesive.
Well,
between the
listen,
mother and the
sometimes
father, so the
both parents
child won't.
can't be in the same household. That is just the
Are
But
fact.
they living
Sebastian, the
together?
heart wants what the heart wants. And you know when people are in love, it is nothing you can
It's not like
tell
he's
them.
in love. It's not like he's in love. It's just like,
How you
well,
know?
listen, because he tells me everything. Because we're that good. Like, this is someone who saved my
Go
life.
here.
Sebastian, you think he tells you everything. He
Thank
could just be
you.
telling you
He
what you
tells
want to
me
hear.
everything. I even know his social
Sebastian,
security. That's how
you
close
think
we
how
are.
That's
I
enough
learned
thing
how
right
How
there. The
close
pillow
we
talk.
are.
Sebastian, stop
Okay,
for a second. Just
I
listen.
know his
Just listen.
social.
Sebastian, just listen for a second. Just listen. I was the same way with this dude. I thought I was so in love with. I was his best friend. Come to find out, he was doing XYZ with this person telling me one thing and telling them another. Trust me, people will tell you what you want to know just so that they can have you keep coming back, listening and listening over and over about the situation.
No, he's not lying. It really
Oh
does
my
show that what
God.
he's going through is going
Ooh.
on him. He's not lying.
Are you on the
I
same stuff
swear.
Wendy is on?
I hear you, Sebastian. I'm
I
with you still.
I just don't like people being aid. I don't like people being aid at all. I don't
Right.
care how it's being aid, physically, verbally, emotionally, or financially. And that's what his situation is. And I'm trying. I'm completely helping him. I've helped him find lawyers. They're working on that case
You
to
are
figure out
too much.
what's happening.
Wait.
Look,
Sebastian, that's
this is
considered
too
aid.
much.
That's considered aid. What do you mean you don't like nobody giving aid? That's considered aid. Mental, physically, helping them find a lawyer. That's aid.
No, not aid. A as in the
You meant
word
the
that you
other
can't say on
A.
YouTube. The word that you can't say on YouTube.
Oh.
The AB
Yeah,
word.
I know what he say. Okay, so hold on. Because we about to close this out. But you know what, Sebastian? You done came in here with all this tea, okay? And you feel like because you got because I mean, listen, I get it. He saved your life. And I ain't mad at you. You feel indebted. You feel like that is your angel, okay? That is living right here. You got a living angel here on earth. But you are too into the business and you going too far. I'm almost ready to say that you could be part of the demise of their relationship,
No,
okay?
I'm
But
not.
you
No,
I
I'm
said it.
not.
I
The
said it.
person who's in the demise of that
Diva
relationship,
said it.
the
I
person who's
said
in the
it.
demise of that relationship is her man that she slept and cheated on him with.
Right.
That's
Oh,
who
And
he
if he's
really
caused the
okay with that,
mad.
demise.
he can be
That's who
okay
caused
with
the
that.
demise. That's
And
who
that's
caused
why
the
Okay with
demise.
that.
Sebastian's so heated, y'all, because she did that to his friend and broke his heart. And now he's caught up in court having to pay her because she ruined their happy home.
And
And he's talking about drinking some more, going back to her. And Sebastian, like, that's how you ended up in this situation, bro.
Yeah, he being
exactly.
real.
Like,
He
listen,
being real with his
I don't like seeing people like once you save my life, once you do something like that could like completely change me, I'll always be
Sebastian,
loyal to you.
are you this devoted to Jesus Christ? Because he saved my life, right?
Listen, I am devoted to Jesus Christ, very much devoted. But my
God,
friend as well,
Sebastian, you
I
making
am
my stomach
he
hurt.
saved my life. Okay. He saved my life. And the worst part is, the best part about that situation, we weren't even that close before he saved my life. But now we're so close. We tell each other
Jesus, watch his
everything.
friend marry this girl 5 years from now, and they're gonna
No,
have
they're not gonna
triplets
get
on the
married. They're
way.
not gonna
Watch
go get
Not
married.
if Sebastian can help it. He
His
Okay.
mother is with me
Sebastian is
too.
standing up
His
at the wedding,
mom.
Diva, like, I object.
His mom is in the same thing with me too. She calls me and tells me everything. Tells me, "Oh, Sebastian, you gotta be there for him."
Y'all need to mind y'all business. Y'all need to mind y'all
Y'all
business.
too
Because
much.
his mother is all
Y'all too much.
his mother is all the way in Puerto Rico, and she has to
Oh, he's
needs someone to
Puerto
be around.
Rican. That's why you like them light skin, don't you?
Hold on,
I'm
don't talk about
Latino as
Puerto Ricans.
well. I'm
I love
Latino
Puerto
as
Me
Ricans.
too.
well.
I'm
Me
just
too.
saying.
Me too.
Okay, hold on, because we are not saving Sebastian right now or his friend, okay?
Listen, he vents to
Sebastian,
me. He vents to me too much, and like once the situation is resolved, I won't have to listen to his venting and his crying and him being in demise every
Sebastian's gonna be
single
doing
day
this with
anymore.
with the next girl he's with. You're gonna be doing the exact same thing,
No, I'm
getting
not.
involved,
I'm trying to
injecting
help
into
him
things.
find someone. The thing is, I'm trying to help him find someone,
Oh
and
my
he's
God,
having.
he's
He
fine.
all
Where is he
Sebastian said,
finding
I'm
you,
all in,
girlfriend?
Diva. He said, I'm gonna make sure you get the court order. I'm gonna make sure you get a new girl. Everything. I'm gonna pick the girl out. Diva, he gonna pick the girl out and everything. They gonna be on speed dates together. Why?
And
oh
listen,
my God, I
he's
cannot right now.
he his trust.
Sebastian, I
He
get
can't
it.
trust
He
no
saved
one.
your
He
life.
can't trust no one anymore. Like it's so bad. Like
He
he
can
can't
only
trust
trust
no
you.
one. Well, I haven't done anything to him, so why would he not trust me?
Yes, you have.
Sebastian, if
Yes,
you
you
were my
have. I
doctor,
beg to
I would be
differ.
concerned. How are you balancing trying to be a doctor and worrying about somebody else's relationship and their baby mama drama?
Because they're
Thank
my
you,
friend. They're my friend. That's what good
Listen,
friends
Sebastian.
do.
smoke. He's not just anybody. He saved Sebastian's life,
I
okay?
wouldn't
And
be here.
listen, and
I wouldn't be here.
prior to that, they wasn't even that close. But
Exactly.
since he saved his life,
We
now they
became
are close.
close.
He got his social security number, and he's going to
Exactly.
be his good. He's finding this man a lawyer. He's telling him that this girl is no good for him, and he's gonna find him a new relationship to be in. Sebastian, you
Amen.
He
doing
said, I'm
too
your friend
much.
to the end. He said,
Too
I'm your friend
much,
to the
Sebastian.
I'm
end.
helping that man repair his life again. Okay, I'm helping him repair his life. Ever since that whole situation, he's gained 100 pounds. He's done so many things. It's not. It's sad to see someone going down like that. It's
It is,
just
and I don't mean
sad.
to laugh, Sebastian. I get what you're saying.
I know why you're laughing. Of course, I know why you
No,
guys are laughing. But like, I know you
Sebastian.
guys are serious. I
No,
know you guys are
listen,
serious.
Sebastian, calm down, Sebastian. We want to help you and your friend and the baby and the mother. Okay, so just listen to us for 1 second now, because Leslie said you need to find him a good therapist. Also, and
Yes.
she's correct. She's correct because it
Listen,
can't
Sebastian
be
needs
for
one too.
you.
he
Sebastian
has.
needs one too.
And listen, and
Listen,
wait, Sebastian, listen. Mel is concerned. He said, "You got the social security number." We got concerns here. Okay, we got
no, that's
concerns.
not
Mel.
concerning.
Where
That's
are
We
not
got
you?
concerns
concerning.
here. So listen, we gotta close out, yo. We gotta close
Okay.
out. But before we close out, now we got a mission here, right? The mission is we gotta help Sebastian, this friend, the baby, the girl, the new potential girl.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna start with you, Nadi. What is your best advice for Sebastian, and the friend that saved his life?
Sebastian, you be a friend to the end, brother. Okay, I feel you. You loyal.
I
Okay,
am loyal.
and I say see it through to the end, but protect your own energy in the process. Okay,
Thank you. I
that's the
received
best
that.
advice I can give you.
I
He
received
received
that.
it, Nadi.
I received that.
Nadi, he received your advice. Thank you, Nadi. Kern, what is your advice to Sebastian in this whole situation?
Well, like I said before, I'm totally feeling the situation. He's trying to save his friend because his friend is hurt who saved his life. That's a very special bond, Sebastian. It's such a aw. I
Exactly.
totally feel you why you wouldn't want him in the situation. And everything is probably going to work out the way it's going to work out. But you don't want to be the person to be the reason why that he is forsaken from his love long term, because religion could happen because you were the bearer of bad news, which was she was not right for him. You know what I mean? In that moment, like somebody
I
else
agree.
said, I think they might end up back together.
Trust me. I don't know what she did. I don't know what she did to that guy, but like
Mel
for
up
some
on the
reason
floor.
he's happy.
I know what she did, Sebastian. I know what she did. and they'll be back together. And
Oh, I know what
also,
you mean by that, and we're working on that situation itself too.
yeah, so they're
I
gonna.
cannot right now. I'm done. I'm done. Sis, what is your advice to Sebastian in this whole debacle and the girl and the friend that saved his life, his angel here on earth? What do you have to say?
Exactly.
Sebastian, I think you and the friend need to get some therapy. And I'm being honest. I'm being honest because you are way too invested. And I get being a friend, but you can go overboard. Sometimes you just got to be a listening ear. They don't want your opinion. They just want you to listen. They just want to get things off their chest. That child needs both of his parents, and you should help facilitate that one way or the other. Don't make it harder on him where he wants to drink when you're not around because you done said all this mess
Oh
to
no,
him.
I
And
make
now
Because then you gonna be in AA.
listen.
You gonna be
The
in
worst
AA,
part,
Sebastian.
I forgot to mention this. I'm also the child's goddaddy. I'm also the
Oh
child's
my
Oh,
grandfather.
God.
this is worse. This is some soapopera.com.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
they'll end up back
So
together.
are you
we're that
coleslaw?
close. We're that close.
I gotta go
I would
watch
not.
Love After
Sebastian, are you
Lockup.
coleslaw?
No, I'm not coleslaw. No,
Yes,
I
he
would
is.
never.
He's giving
I would
coleslaw
never
vibes, all
stoop
right.
that low. I would never stoop that low. No,
You know
no,
what
I
you
would
should
never
do,
stoop that low.
Sebastian? Next time he says he wants to get back with her, say do it. Do it.
Yeah.
You know what? I may want. I actually am considering saying that because, like,
He
I
said
feel
I'm
like
considering.
he needs to realize how emotionally damaging this woman is to him.
He does.
But you're
So let her do it again, Sebastian.
I'm
Say
gonna.
do it again.
But the
You
thing
do
is,
it
I feel like if I do say that and she does damage him again, he probably gonna turn back to whiskey.
no,
But
you have
Sebastian, can
to
I just
turn.
make
He
this
has
point
you.
really quick, Sebastian?
He said
Just think about when
whiskey.
you were a teenager and your parents didn't want you doing something, whether it be like dating or right. That made you want to do it more. So if you keep pushing back on him, like don't do this, that's gonna make him want to get with her even more. But if you fall back in support, he may see the foolery in front of his eyes a little clearer.
Sebastian, your friend may have to call in and we may have to do a whole intervention. Smoke, what is your final words? What is your
I didn't even
final words
finish.
for
I didn't
Sebastian?
finish.
Okay,
You know he gotta drag
Oh, I'm
me.
sorry. Go ahead.
my final words on this is because I'm just saying I've been in that position where I was like the release for this person. I relieved their tension in a way where they could just vent, be like, "What should I do with this?" And then they turn around and do what they want to do. So you have to let people at a certain point be sick and tired of being sick and tired because you're putting in
Amen.
so much energy into correcting his situation that he's not even willing to do it himself. So
Right.
you have to let him, like, I mean, have that rope out, be like, I'm here, but let him go as far as he wants to go. If he wants to go down to hell with this girl in this relationship, that's on him. But you do not take his life as your responsibility because
Okay, I'm gonna say something to
no.
rebut that.
Just listen.
No.
Just listen.
Trauma bonding.
You because you cannot be responsible for someone's life. At the end of the day, we have to be responsible for ourselves. And yes, I understand showing up for your friends, but he has to live his life, make his mistakes so that he is able to grow as a man and learn from it. If you are still there trying to save him, he will do this for the rest of your life. And then guess what? You will basically end up being his partner. And when I say that, I mean that he's going to still be doing the same stuff, but you're going to get the emotional aftertaste of his bad decisions.
Because you're codependent. That's not
Yeah.
cool.
It's called trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding for sure. But I didn't
Yeah.
finish trust. My whole thing in a relationship is trust. And
Yeah.
I never met my ex-husband's girlfriend. They've been together for well, I won't say never, but in the beginning, my ex-husband would get his kids. He wouldn't even allow the woman around his children. Okay. When he had his kids, he had them to himself. That was on his own decision. When he would pick them up, he would park the car around the corner just so she wouldn't be parked in front of my house. I'm like, dude, we have all moved on. That's your woman. She can come to pick up your kids with you. What's the problem? I said, you're gonna make her think that we still have something going on. And you better believe she thought that.
Yeah.
You better believe she thought that. But I trusted him enough to know I knew the man he was. So I never had to worry about what woman he would have around him because I knew the man I was married to. And I never had a problem. When my daughter went off to the military, we were all there.
And that's how it should be.
That's the way it's supposed to be. But you have to have some trust, and you have to let that man fall and bust his knee, get a boo-boo on his head for himself. You are carrying this relationship as if it's yours, and it's not. It's his. And there's a child involved. And you're so worried about this child that you're not doing the right thing by this child, Godfather.
I am very much doing the things right by this child. First of all, I'm very much doing the right things by this child. He is very well. He's doing very well. He's great. He sees his dad every day. His mother, he sees when she's not in the club or something.
Oh my God. You know what, Sebastian? I mess with you. I got to go. But let me say this to you, Sebastian. I get it, right? He saved your life. I think we all got that, right? You got the social security number. Y'all are highly invested in each other as friends, okay?
And
y'all are uber connected. Y'all are connected. We get that.
We're very connected.
Because he saved your life, don't mean you got to save him from every life mess that he gets himself into. Y'all are even. You fine. Did you say thank you when he saved you? Then that's all you need right there, right? Sebastian, we're going to have to do a whole nother intervention with just you and this friend situation, because we're not going to be able to resolve it tonight. But you are too much in the business. You don't call this girl a heifer.
As the Godfather.
Hold on one second,
sure
Sebastian. You don't call this girl a heifer. You don't got this man a lawyer. You finding him a new girlfriend. It's too much.
I'm sorry. His mother, too. His mother is also, because his mother's not in the mainland right now. His mother is the one who's also helping, who's telling me you gotta help him.
You're making this an excuse.
Gotta help him. So I
listen, I love you guys.
I have to help him.
I love you, Diva. Thank you for having me today.
Diva.
Iyanla needed for this.
Diva. Sebastian said that kids are not an investment, right?
Yes,
I did say that.
I remember him saying that.
Investment.
Yeah,
I said they're not an investment. They're life.
Right, but you're investing in your friend, which is his life. An investment is an investment. You're way too invested in this man's business.
No, what I mean that is an investment, as in something like money giving. Like somehow, like you expect your child to get money off of your child.
Sebastian, stop moving the goal line. Stop moving the goal line, Sebastian.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. Some people really do think their kids do that.
Sebastian, I need you to press replay and start this from the beginning so you get the whole scope of what went down. And let your friend watch it with you.
Okay.
And let him hear what you said. Let him hear what you said
guys,
too.
Y'all, listen, because you know I can talk to you all night. We're going to have to put a pause on this. I love y'all. Thank you for dropping by for trending topics. We will have it again next Friday. Sebastian, you're going to make me lose sleep tonight. Okay?
Yeah, that's why I was feeling
situation.
really good about the conversation, and now I feel disgusted.
I know, right? I know. We didn't solve this issue. Listen, the best we can do at this point is pray for Sebastian's friend, Sebastian, and this whole situation, because these two are team too much, and each one of them are going to have trouble having their own individual mates because those two are too connected.
We're not going to have that problem.
Oh, okay. Good night, everybody. I love y'all. Good night. Bye.
Good night, Diva. Good night, Smoke. Good night,
everybody.
Good night, Nadi. Have a good weekend.